All right, try that again.
Hold on. Let me just tune something up here. Make sure I got this thing working. Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
And Sunday, September 3rd, 2017, this is your award-winning Gitmo Nation Media Assassination episode 961.
This is No Agenda.
Celebrating Double Nickels less 2 dimes and coming to you from the darkest corners of the internet in downtown Austin, Tejas, capital of the drone star state in the Cludio. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's hot as hell, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackbot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Yeah, man. You guys are burning up from the climate change up there.
Yep, exactly it.
Is that the predominant message?
I'm sorry?
Is that the predominant messaging? Climate change?
No, not really. It comes and goes, but people throw rocks at anyone who says something like that.
What?
Yeah, they throw rocks.
Wait, if you say it's because of climate change, they throw rocks at you in California?
Yeah.
I find it so beautifully ironic that the state that is doing the most
Welcome
to combat
back.
global warming is apparently burning up the quickest.
It's burning up. Apparently, that Burbank's on fire.
All systems prepared.
Has it been, is this not record temperature?
Oh, they busted a San Francisco record a couple of days ago. I think it hit 106 in the city.
Oh,
That's because we have Santa Ana, what used to be called Santa Ana winds, which means that the wind is going from east to west.
I remember these. Yes, I remember when I lived out in California or San Francisco. I remember the Santa Ana winds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is the oldest term. They have some new term. They don't like that term
Wait a minute.
anymore.
Yeah, no, because it's now global warming.
Yeah, we can't have
Santa Ana winds has turned into climate crisis winds.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So that because of that, we don't get our cooling effect, and it also starts a bunch of fires. Fires get out of control. It's miserable.
So it's kind of typical. Only this time it's a little worse.
Well, it's been worse. We had this happen during July. Well, actually, there was a year, and I can't remember the exact year, but it was in the 70s. And Mimi remembers it too. We don't have the exact year. Somebody might know, but there was an entire summer that went by with no marine layer.
Oh, wow.
And every day it was 100 degrees plus. And July was absolutely unbearable.
Yeah.
And this is September 1st when this started up, and it's like summer's pretty much over, but this you get this condition, and it just shows you it shows you the true nature of California. It's just a hot desert.
Yeah. And meanwhile, in Texas, we're in high 80s. It's beautiful here.
Oh, it should be fantastic.
It's dynamite. It's like, wow, okay, good. It arrived early.
Somebody sent me a note. Catherine, our woman in Thailand, has the B&B in Bangkok.
Yeah.
She just sent a simple note saying, "Does anybody
welcome viewers
discuss what happened with the electric cars that got submerged?"
I think I brought it up.
We're gonna go get some pulse lasers.
Yeah, you did bring it up, but did we have any information?
Nothing at all. I want to know if they short-circuited, if people got stuck trying to evacuate, and they drove. You drive 150 miles
into a ditch.
You drive 150 miles through Texas.
Okay.
You're definitely still in Texas.
Let's go get some modified pulse lasers. How many jumps is that? Oh, that's not bad.
I think, didn't we get I've gotten a lot of great notes
Like
from
your
people
Oculus.
about Harvey. Actually,
With
we did
orientation.
have a bit
Reset.
of an issue this week. It affected Tina. She was supposed to drive up to College Station.
Departure
where
handover.
They have Ronald McDonald's family room. And they
Ascending.
decided not to go
Retracting
for the
modules.
following
Handing
reason.
you
They
the
sure
comm.
have, Terry, and across social media we've seen
Reinforcing
more than a
shields.
dozen reports of gas
Power
outages, and
engines.
that number is growing throughout the Austin area. One of
Launching.
those shortages is right here at the Chevron in North Austin. You can see there's bags on the pump, and that is what is making this gas station, the Shell, just right across the street, a hot commodity. They do have gas, and you can see the line is now wrapping around the gas station. People are waiting to get gas. Now, tonight, Texas Railroad Commissioner Ryan Sitton says there's plenty of gas. However, the majority of it is coming from refineries on the Texas coast, and this is basically a demand and logistics issue. Basically, what's happening is people are worried gas is running out. They're hurrying to the pump and creating unnecessary demand. He believes it should be over in about 3 to 4 days.
As a region, there will be gasoline. Yes, there may be pockets that take a few days to get refueled, but I don't believe a week from now that this will. There's just so much gasoline in inventory. Pipelines are coming back online. The logistical problems are working out, so this is not going to be a long-term issue.
Our gas prices went up by 10%.
The Texas Railroad Commissioner says there are 15 refineries right now that are out of gas. However, that being said, he reports that there are 230 million barrels of gas across the country that will be available to come to gas stations like this one. It will just take a day or so. So he recommends if you don't need gas, if your gas tank is not on E, wait a couple of days because he believes this will all be over by then.
Now, I can't prove this, but I'm pretty sure there was a lot of collusion between media and local government about this particular story. The story itself doesn't add up. If 25% of refineries supply routes, pipelines were down, trucks couldn't get in and out. Yeah, there was an actual shortage. And combined with people, of course, the panic, which was the collusion between media and local government to stop panic, and they did, I guess. But they were lying. They were definitely lying. And oh yeah. But we have issues for sure. And of course, the price is going up by 10, 20 cents, which is gouging in my mind. I don't understand. Why shouldn't it go down to help everybody out?
Open system map.
System cartography.
Yeah, if you're a communist.
Okay. So
yeah, exactly. But I think we really did have some issues. It may not, they averted panic, even though the lines were quite long the first night that this thing came out.
Well, the first thing, as soon as this thing started bearing down, smart money would have gone out and filled up all their tanks.
I pretty much always have a reasonably full tank. My truck can do, what is it, like 360 miles on one tank or something? It's some unbelievable amount.
Could be that far away already.
I got cash in the house, always. So. I got my meals ready to eat. My 1 acre.
I guess it is that far away. Okay, fuck it. We're gonna go.
Yeah, you're ready.
Next system en route.
Locking system destination.
The president came back to Texas.
They ran an open feed on C-SPAN.
Yes, and it was odd because the camera, even as the cameraman was just walking around and
watch that fuel,
pointing the thing at the ground, that was all broadcast
on C-SPAN.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of endearing to watch him. Just having everybody who wanted a selfie got a selfie. Yeah, it's kind of hard to call a guy the racist. Although it must have been so hard having these horrible black children clamoring all over. I don't know how.
Should another neutron star. That's two.
This is just horrible.
Hard to imagine.
Oh, fuel.
At a certain point, though, he was moving around boxes, and it's
he was loading.
Open galaxy map.
Got on that little area. There's some church that had that had a bunch.
That next one is a Type M. I should be able to.
Boxes of food and I don't know what else, but there was one of the big
boxes, one of the boxes,
big plastic one, had the big red cross symbol.
Open system map.
Oh yeah.
Open system map.
PR move.
And because they needed that PR move because I have a report from NBC, and I think NBC here in this particular clip.
Well, let's go for
was, irked by the apparent looked like talking about collusion between the Red Cross and ABC, which we pointed out was some collusion.
Yes, they were really pushing it. Yeah,
please let me fuel up here.
This number and you get $10 and you just use your cell phone and do this and that. And so NBC ran a kind of a quasi-hit piece. Wasn't quite as strong as it could have been, but this is where it went.
All right, Miguel Almaguer tonight, thank you. And meantime, as so many people want to know, there is controversy swirling around one of the biggest charities of all, the Red Cross. There are critics raising questions about transparency and about how the money you give is spent. Let's get more on that now from NBC's Kristen Dahlgren.
When disaster strikes, Americans have come to expect donation campaigns by the American Red Cross.
Please donate now to help people affected by Hurricane Harvey.
But now there is a campaign against the massive aid organization. Hundreds of tweets like, "Don't give Red Cross your money." Very little, if any, goes to those that need it. The criticism mounting after a Red Cross executive interviewed on NPR couldn't say how much would go to Texans.
You don't know what proportion of the total amount is that relief?
No, I really don't.
In 2014, an NPR and ProPublica investigation found the Red Cross misstated how money is spent. After the devastating earthquake in Haiti, a report by Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley found 1/4 of Red Cross donations went to administrative costs.
The Red Cross should be responsible to make sure they're very transparent.
The Red Cross disputes the critical reports and today promised 91 cents of every dollar would go to victims.
We are going to make sure that this money is spent to help people with food, with shelter, with water.
The watchdog group Charity Watch gives the Red Cross a B+ overall.
They can do the heavy lifting at the scale that community organizations and churches and some of the other nonprofits are not going to be able to offer.
According to the Red Cross, it has already served more than 250,000 meals in Texas and opened over 240 shelters.
I want a blanket while you're sleeping.
A charity in the midst of providing disaster relief, now fighting a different kind of storm. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News, New York.
Why not just say 97? Everybody believes that number. It's a great number. 97% of all scientists, just 97.
97.
91
is
a good point.
Yeah, 91 is a bad number as far as I'm concerned.
And they also use a lot of the whipsaw technique that I always bitch about in this report.
Yeah.
Where they cut the grass lead.
Time to get some pulse lasers. Hopefully I have materials.
Yeah. Then they have a guy come in and says something that's got nothing to do with the assertion, but it makes it sound kind of like he does.
Would you call that a whipsaw?
Whipsaw. I gotta come up with a term for it because all the networks
way too fast.
So often.
A whip snip.
What?
Whip snip.
Whip snip.
Whippersnip.
So I need a term for it because it's so common that it needs to be termed something.
How about bull crap? How's that for a...
Well, I've always used that. I use that for a lot of things. It's too general.
I like your... What did you just call it? You call it a...
Whipsaw.
Whipsaw is fine. Whipsaw is good. I like it.
Okay, well, I can use that.
Well, there's a real problem, but now I will say I got a couple of notes from producers.
Oh, but before you go on, because of that report, because I still know it was a hit piece. They followed that report, but I don't want to play the whole clip, but I just want you to play the beginning, because right after that, when Kristen Dahlgren signed off, they go right to the Wells Fargo fraud, and so they make an association.
Let's turn now to the growing fraud scandal at one of the nation's largest banks. Wells Fargo today admitting that...
Right.
So you go from the one, and then you go to that. It's like, I'm watching this going, this is really... they're not happy.
That's actually meta whipsawing. Because you're whipsawing between segments that are in themselves whipsawed.
Well, I don't think that it was... Well, I guess you could see it that way.
Yeah.
I always like to think it as associative.
Oh, yeah.
So you're thinking about the Red Cross, and you're associating that with them not quite doing their job the way you think they should be, and then you go, and there's fraud, in some other report.
There's a number of producers who emailed me about our discussion regarding Red Cross, and I will agree that local chapters of the Red Cross on the ground is a little different story than the overarching organization. But I do want to make sure that people who are working for Red Cross chapters, they're really doing stuff. And I think they're often frustrated with the direction they are getting or not getting from Command Central. But there's a bigger issue in Texas specifically. Other nonprofits are going to have a very, very, very difficult time this year.
West Landing.
Everyone's given their money, what they can give to Hurricane Harvey relief. And there's a lot of other issues that need funding that are not going to get as much, probably not going to get as much as they would because of this. I mean, not that you can do anything about it, but it's just worth pointing out.
Huh. Yeah, I guess you're right. Michael Dell just gave $35 million.
Yeah.
To Harvey.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I got a kick out of that because everybody's making a big
Boy,
how
landing
much
gear.
I'm giving. They're all bragging
The
about it, you
landing
know,
gear
to
is
the
down.
point where
And
celebrities are giving.
locked.
Trump gave $1 million of his own money. So this guy Michael comes rolling down. Here, 35 mil.
Yeah.
And now somebody's got to top that.
Yeah, so we need a topper.
These guys have got the money. It's these Silicon Valley guys. I mean, Michael does not.
And by the way, where's the Clinton Foundation? If I were Hillary, I would say, hey, you know, I'm going on this book tour and I'm charging $3,000 for you to meet me and take a picture, but 91 cents of that will go to Hurricane Harvey. She can do that. That would be fantastic PR. Why wouldn't she do that? Makes so much sense.
Why wouldn't she do that? Are you honestly asking me?
No, I'm not. But here's another thought I have. Just some free advice for the president. He's trying.
By the way she sees Texas.
Yeah. Screw him, rednecks.
Redneck jerks.
So here's some free advice for the president. He is trying to ramp up for a tax bill, and it seems like nothing is really written. He kind of had a rather empty speech about it, stuff that we had kind of heard before. But here's a thought. What if you say, what we're going to do right now, everybody, is we're going to leave everything in place, and we are going to make free as much money as necessary for the victims of Hurricane Harvey, which will not just be Texas, you know, there's Louisiana, and this is a lot. And then next year, we take care of everybody. And so you kind of solve two things in one go. You have a little bit of extra time to get it going. No one's going to argue against that. Because it will take $200 billion. I don't know. It's going to take a lot of money. And maybe that's a way to kind of combine everything.
Maybe.
The president looked a little... Yes?
I suggest you write this up.
No. Oh, okay.
And send it to Roger Stone.
Get me Roger Stone. President looked a little bit out of place as he was doing this box moving. And I caught one little piece of audio that was pretty funny. As he's putting on the gloves, everyone's wearing, you know, surgical gloves, the blue gloves, you know, for obvious reasons.
Nice.
My hands are too big.
Yeah, I heard that too. It was pretty funny. He had a bunch of little snide remarks all through the whole thing.
Nussbaum did some work for us, and he's decided to go check out what some of the evangelists were saying about this particular event, this Harvey. You know, are we at the tribulation? Are we at the end times?
We're always at the tribulation.
Yeah, we'll do level 2.
Well, that depends on which preacher you're going to listen to. We, of course, have a favorite here at the No Agenda Show.
Our favorite preacher is
Reverend Manning.
Oh, of course.
Let's hear what he has to say.
But earthquakes in diverse places, if you think this hurricane was something, you ain't seen nothing yet with respect to earthquakes when the whole Gulf of Mexico will erupt and Florida will break off and Texas will be decimated. Because that's happening.
Plus 17%, plus 20% rate of fire, distributed draws down, that's not bad. Let's fly it.
The Gulf of Mexico is perhaps the most dangerous zone. I wouldn't want to live in that area. Where are you? Unless you are one of the elect, and then you can survive.
Okay, so we are all going to die, but is this the tribulation?
Of course, if you're Southern Baptist or evangelical, you can't believe. Billy Graham will excommunicate you if you believe that we're in the tribulation, because Billy Graham, the Southern Baptist, evangelicals, the Salem Media, the Clear Channel, Robert Jeffress, James Dobson, and all of that crowd of liars and false prophets have told you that
pretty good.
You're going to go to heaven before the tribulation takes place, and after you are comfortably seated in heaven, then God will let Hurricane Harvey come. But remind you, I'm telling you that Harvey is not God's massive killing machine. People are going to die. Houston is never going to recover. That's another
Power distributor, high
the city of Houston is gone
good.
forever.
And that is the topic of the last clip in our triage.
But
this is the perfect storm, according to the good Reverend. And Houston is gone forever and will never come back.
But you remember a year ago to yesterday, Katrina hit in New Orleans. Is that right? St. Bernard Parish, the 9th Ward.
The charge goes down.
Both of these cities are under sea level, below sea level. And New Orleans has been able to recover, but Houston is not going to be able to ever recover. See, what happened in New Orleans, just poor people in St. Bernard Parish in the Ninth Ward. They were poor people. They didn't have a lot, and they were not necessarily the city of New Orleans did not suffer the major blood.
Now we gotta go do the multi-cannons.
Hurricane Sandy, which ripped up New Jersey shore, the large part of New York, including New York City, and the outer beaches of New York, Howard Beach, Rockaway. And even today, 5 years later, FEMA has not fully been able to pay off and rebuild New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, the Rockaways, Howard Beach, and a large segment of New York. And people are still waiting to return to their homes or rebuild their homes in New York 5 years after Sandy, Hurricane Sandy. Katrina, to some degree, 12 years now is kind of a distant thought. But Houston ain't never going to recover. The one is there's not going to be enough time because by the time the floodwaters finally assuage in Houston, America's going to be bogged down in the impeachment of Donald Trump, fighting wars with North Korea, and dealing with Russia and a complete collapse of the stock market and breakdown of so many other earthquakes and disasters.
Wait, have modified thrusters already?
America. Houston is a thought that ain't gonna be thought no more. But you don't have to believe that. But do you? But for those of you, is there anybody out there believe that this is a tribulation?
John, it could be the moment we've been talking about.
The closest Felicity. Check out her.
The tipping point for the economic crisis.
I don't see it.
No?
I don't even know what he's just ranting. I mean, I think he's lost his touch.
No, he hasn't.
Otherwise, you're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
No, he's still got it, man.
Well, I'm not sure.
He's still got it.
It's an old clip.
Oh, he's still got it.
Yes, I know. But he was, I mean, I'm just saying that when I heard that, I thought to myself, it could be the tipping point of the financial crisis. I mean, these things, maybe, remember,
let's go get some thrusters.
Oh, don't worry about the gas. Don't worry
and then
about
we'll go to Todd.
Stuff.
Do multi-cannons.
Nobody panic. How about the municipalities throughout Houston, or is Houston itself one big municipality?
Oh, Houston's got a...
Those will all be good.
Huge crisis coming their way.
Yes. Houston is not... Remember,
Houston needs to be absolutely, positively, by law, revealed into
power to engines
next year.
Diverting power to engines.
I mean, you're supposed to start doing and implementing this this change in accounting principles now, but you won't get busted if you
preparing for Super Cruise.
And I believe everyone's going to stall as best they can. It may not last. Maybe it could have began in the government second world. Houston could trigger something. I don't think so because I just don't think so. It just doesn't fit into the scheme of anything, it seems to me. I mean, it's a contributory factor, I'm sure.
There was two other data points. One which actually came through InfoWars, but I think they probably reported on initially. There was a woman who was a whistleblower, Rebecca Reisig, and she's a friend who works, like I said, on this Houston City Council. And here's what she posted, and is now being picked up again. Hey guys, not trying to start a panic, but as some of you know, and this was days before, 2 days before the big disaster. I work for a law firm here downtown. One of the lawyers I work with has a friend on the Houston City Council. The news is not telling the whole truth. The storm is expected to be 3 times worse than what the news is saying because they don't want to panic on the freeways like Hurricane Rita. The City Council and Harris County Flood Control had an emergency meeting this morning. Everything south of Katy is predicted to be devastated. They're predicting 50 inches of rain, not 24 like the news is saying, and 100,000 homes destroyed. They're expecting all of Houston to be without power for 3 days. If you guys live in floods, so much further north. And the city council put out press releases saying, we know there's some lawyer, don't listen to her, please. Here, this is false fort here, Mayor Turner. Rely on weather, not rumors. Listen to your telescreens. False forecasts and irresponsible rumors on social media are interfering with efforts by the city of Houston and its government and news media partners. to provide accurate information to the public about the expected effects of tropical storm/Hurricane Harvey. All residents of Houston and surrounding areas should rely solely on proven information sources, including the National Weather Service and the City Office of Emergency Management, to decide how to prepare for the heavy rainfall expected here. And then in a follow-up, they spoke specifically about a lawyer spreading false rumors. But it turns out she was right on the money.
Yes, it does turn out that way.
Yeah. And the you know, the spin studio that I go to here. So of course everyone's doing fundraisers, and the spin studio did a fundraiser. I don't know, X number of classes. They donate all the money, so they internally on their intranet they ask the spin instructors, predominantly millennials, well, you know, what charity do you guys think we should give this money to? What do you think the unanimous decision was?
I would have no idea.
J.J. Watts.
Oh, J.J. Watts?
Isn't that the guy? Is that the football player?
Yeah.
Yeah. They said we want to give to his charity.
What would millennials? Millennials don't even like football.
I'm just reporting it.
Texas thing then.
I think it just struck a chord. He was all over the news.
Yeah, he was.
But they
he was on the news here too, back in Texas, where he's a hero.
Yeah.
He would get a lot of airtime.
But you know, notoriously, this is a bad idea, mainly for the celebrity himself, because you know, all of a sudden you have, you know, there's.
Oh, now you're screwed. You got bookkeeping.
And not just that, but you're going to be really scrutinized. Hey, man, where's the money? You haven't given it yet.
16 jumps.
Oh, you gave it to that. I disagree.
I agree with this. Watts stepped into it.
Yeah, and he's
what he should do is immediately forward it to something else.
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation. That would be funny. I know that I trust them with our money. Here. That's actually not a bad idea. And then have everyone focus on the Clintons.
Yeah.
Just a thought. A girl can dream, I guess.
Open the system map.
But yeah, it's a little troubling.
None of those look like water.
But that is who the millennials trust. Is they would rather go to a celebrity than some approved organization.
At some point, I'm not surprised in the least.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, here's a yeah.
Well,
no, nothing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have something that I don't have. I'm sorry. I don't have this clip.
Okay.
I got some random clips for today's show. I don't have a lot of. I mean, the storm's over, and I think we gotta.
Yeah, we're kind of done with the storm. I mean, let me just say,
storm's over.
We're not done with the storm, and this will be going on throughout my hometown and area for a while. So from time to time, I will report in with how things.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Open system map.
Just not reporting elsewhere is kind of my theme today, mainly because I started listening to
already inhabited
now again to actually get some screwball news. But it's not necessarily completely screwball. It's just kind of, you know, left-wing slant on everything. And here's a story that nobody else covered that I could tell. I was none of the networks was on the radio.
Still near.
LA, this one you got. This is the LA story. LA kills Columbus Day. Listen to this.
Los Angeles City Council voted Wednesday to eliminate Columbus Day from the city's calendar and replace it with an annual holiday marking Indigenous Peoples Day in an acknowledgement of the genocide that took place as European powers colonized the Americas.
Columbus was a dick.
Wednesday's 14-1 vote makes the second Monday of each October a day to commemorate Indigenous, Aboriginal, and Native people. Columbus has long faced criticism for massacring and enslaving Arawak Indigenous people and for opening the door to the European colonization of the Americas.
Screw that.
Yeah, we knew this.
Columbus, and they make it sound like the guy's still alive.
And he's a dick.
Columbus is facing scrutiny.
That's great. Burn in hell, California.
Well, Berkeley is the first city to do that. It was some years ago, and I was always waiting for it to take hold. But I never expected the entire town of Los Angeles to take part in this nonsense.
There was what was this report?
Everybody's got a signal virtue.
Somewhere. Oh, wait, maybe it's on that social justice warriors are now going after, let me see if I have it here, after army bases because of their Confederate history.
Yes.
And they have to be, quote, taken down.
I don't know why they have to be taken down.
Well, that's just
talking about.
Yeah, that's the verbiage being used. We got to take them down. Let me see why I can't.
Get this army base out of here.
Let me see if I can find that here. What was that?
I don't know when people are going to realize that this is just a bunch of subversives.
What do you mean by that?
These people, the people that are doing all this moaning and groaning, are communists.
Well, there's a lot of
old school, not Putin.
No.
Old school.
Oh no, Putin's not a communist.
No, Putin's definitely not a communist.
Russia is not recognized as a communist place anymore. Come on, that's not the system. Well, I do have a couple of racism things. I want to save the hardcore racism for later, if you don't mind. That's a tease, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, hardcore racism coming up later on the show. No, I'm not going to forget today. It's my birthday. Oh, I did want to say
happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. Regarding Democracy Now! So for my birthday weekend, I'm celebrating the whole weekend. One of Tina's daughters.
Weekend.
Yes. That's how you do it now. Well, so one of Tina's daughters is in from Arkansas. She's here for Labor Day weekend. So the girls.
Is she the one who hates you?
No. Neither of them hate me. Thanks, dude. That's really funny. That was a joke. Dick move.
I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood you.
I never said. Take it back. Take it back.
I'm sorry I said that. It was just a joke because I knew it would get you in trouble.
It's my birthday.
Because that's what I do.
That is what you do. That is what you do. So we had manicures yesterday, and we're sitting there. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. And Tina, Tina's guy says, I can hear him talking. Oh, what does Adam do then? Whatever you heard. She said, oh, he's a podcaster. No, I think he's the guy. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Says I said, well, what do you do on your podcast? And Tina said, well, they also analyze Democracy Now! Oh, that's great. I love Democracy Now! I said, well, you probably shouldn't listen. We're not very flattering. We're not very flattering about Democracy Now! No, I did some work, and the background is
puppet sector.
Social justice warriors.
I have puppets.
We really first heard this term years and years ago, and it bubbled up through something that was being very poorly explained to us. Anyone who would try to explain it came with entire volumes of text and copy paste from things people said about Gamergate. And it was annoying, and it's just like that. But I feel we, in a way, missed it, because that really was ground zero of the modern social justice warrior movement as we know it. And all the signs were there. And I don't think it's our fault, but there was really no way to understand exactly what was going on. So when this Taylor Swift thing started, why is she so hated? And there's a lot of obvious potential racial reasons for that.
They don't like her anymore for some reason.
Out on it. So I'm not sure that this could turn out to be nothing. But there is she may be the ground zero of the Civil War of dimensions. And it starts.
This is going to be interesting because, okay, I'm going to be all ears.
Go ahead. Why? Because why? We got.
Well, because I don't see. I find it fascinating that Taylor has somehow.
You're just joining us. We're engineering up our FDL. I'm on my way to Felicity Farseer to get a, I don't know, level 3 thruster upgrade. We'll see.
Notwithstanding. And I
try to be careful not to go all top tier engineers, because there's.
I guess what I'm saying is
when you modify stuff, you get some negative aspects like weaker components. This is a combat ship.
And see if we can see some patterns.
Do you think we missed out on Gamergate?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we, not the Gamergate part, but what came out of it was the social justice movement.
even though that was there, but it really stemmed from, you know, hating white men, they're misogynist, their video games are all crap, and then, you know, then there was all this.
If you have any questions about what we're doing, let me know. We're listening to the No Agenda podcast, which does media deconstruction in terms of current events and news.
In my mind, a lot of what we're seeing now.
Hosted by John C. Dvorak, best-selling tech writer, Adam Curry, MTV host, and other podcasting.
Not getting butthurt. We have to have the video games be so equalized, and equal sexism of men and women, and death of men and women, all this stuff. Wouldn't you say that there was something that came out of that as to where we are today, or maybe you see that differently?
I don't see it the same way you're seeing it, but I'm interested in this theory.
Okay. So Taylor Swift, we need to recognize one thing: sales are okay. So people are listening to her music. I'm not going to.
She has fans.
Yeah, I'm not
fans.
Yes, I'm not going to say they're buying her music, because that's not how it works anymore. But she's creating revenue through a number of ways, very commercial. The genesis of her problem is throughout the entire, and I remember I interviewed some millennials for this too. I really did some work the past few days for a change. During the entire election cycle, she was called out consistently as one of these celebrities who will not say anything about Donald Trump. And that immediately means you are enabling. And that is only a small hop to you're a white nationalist, you're alt-right, you're KKK, you're a Nazi, you're Hitler. All of that. Now,
and more.
And so, you know, it's very hard to attack the Taylor Swift machine. But there was one incident that took place, which is one of my favorites, because all evidence shows the contrary, but the story, the narrative, is fact, and you'll never change this. Things I've done in the past, things you've done in the past, are now embedded into our history, even though they're not true. And it's, you know, and it keeps being belabored if you talk about who struck first, Georgia or Russia. You know, it's like, we know what happened, but that's not the narrative anymore. Do you have any examples for me?
I think the Georgia-Russia thing is a good example. We have a ton of them that we keep bringing up. The 97% science.
Yeah, sorry, just take her to the stream there.
99.5.
Yeah, they try to move it around. There's plenty of it. I mean, it's a standard theme on our show is to revisit these crazy bullshit notions that get put back into the public domain, usually by these either uninformed, ill-informed, a lot of Hollywood stooges. Will bring these things back. We've already forgotten about the climate gate thing. That was there are a million excuses for that. It's not true. Just a lot of stuff. Anyway, go on.
All right. So I think when you're as high up as Taylor, everyone's looking to take you down, and this is what as far as I can tell, this is no evidence. What I can tell you is what cemented her persona as a liar and untrustworthy and a dick. And it was, you recall in the Video Music Awards 2009, Kanye West jumped on stage, interrupted, said, this is, you know, hey, Tay, I'm sorry, you know, you won, that's great, but you got to recognize the awesomeness of Beyonce. And so right there we already have a racial tension. And it was Beyonce, I might point out, who first coined the term Becky, which we discussed on the last show, which is a very racist term for different types of white women. And Taylor Swift,
that was a great piece.
And Taylor Swift being a Becky. So there's already, and that's, to me, that's racial. You know, there's racial undertones there. So then Kanye, his new record, here it is, dropped. In was it 2015 or whatever?
Slowly I turn.
It dropped, and in there was a line from the song "Famous." Was 2 lines. I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. And when that came out, Taylor Swift said, "Oh man, you're telling you made me famous?
Yay, almost there.
Like, you know, that's bull crap." And of course, Kanye actually believes that. But then, Kim, I know this is tedious, but I'll just get through this. Then Kim Kardashian,
I was wondering what those switches do.
Sent out a Snapchat of a conversation where Kanye was telling Taylor what he was going to do on his record. And she had an agreement, and oh, that's great, and I'm so happy you called me, and that's really cool. However, when I go back, and I have it, I don't think I need to play it, but it's in the show notes. You can go listen to it yourself, or you can look at the video. On that video is only the first line. I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. You don't hear him read why I made that bitch famous. So when it came out, she said that wasn't discussed, and it's misogynist, and I don't like it. And because people are so shallow and believe headlines, and you know how it works, even though the actual line, why I made that bitch famous, is not in the video, it is deemed as true. So she's a liar. And this is a big one. It's much bigger than I realized because, let's face it, I'm not following this crap. But now,
you get into it though.
Yeah, I'm deep into it because there's now there's all these things, and and this is the black community and the white people who listen to black podcasts and who are buying black music, even though to me it's just music, but just saying that is racist. They are totally all in on this, and Taylor Swift is so mean. You're gonna love this because this is mind-boggling, and I have a clip to back it up.
All right, let's go get some engineered thrusters.
She's such a low-down bitch that she is dropping her album on the anniversary of Kanye's mom's death. She could have released it on any other day, but no, she did that shit on purpose. And I've had a conversation. And it's just belief. And I'm not condemning it, but that's what is the narrative. That's what everyone is talking about now.
Thanks, Kev.
Okay.
Even though to me it sounds unlikely. That
seems unlikely
when you're when you're scheduling your album release.
There's also another. Now you mention it because I haven't been watching this to an extreme, but I did catch a couple of these shows because I have a clip from Extra, which you'll find amusing.
Okay.
But there's something that cropped up a couple of times, and I'm trying to think what it is because it was a false narrative that seems to be created by a publicity machine of some sort, involving Swift, and
hopefully that fixes the audio.
Drop though, it's something else.
Did you just say the date of the drop?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Woo! All right. Do we need to play this clip?
No. This is another clip. This got something to do with something else.
Oh, okay.
Just keep going. I'm not getting clarification. My brain's not, because it's so damned hot.
Yeah.
Is not giving me the information I need to. It's a backup.
Hello.
Hello, brain. Amygdala. We have a disconnect.
All right. So now I'm going to play a little piece from a very popular podcast called The Read. And this is two black hosts, one gay guy, one, I guess she's fag hag. And it's
whatever that means.
No, do you know the type of woman I'm talking about?
That's what the term is.
Yes, that's the term. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a douche
gravitational
about it,
effects from the nearby
just
spoons around this gas giant
how
here.
This is
Slow
now,
this down.
and listen to all the subtext that come up, which I think
Keep it
really
in the
is
blue,
creating
though.
an
We don't want to
explosive
overshoot.
situation surrounding Taylor Swift of all people.
Well, about this white witch.
So it's right off the bat about this white witch. To me, I'm not offended, but I'm like, okay, that is kind of racist.
So Taylor Swift.
Very racist.
Well, we'll talk about race later. I don't think you and I understand what it means.
Well, about this white witch. So Taylor Swift
Taylor
is back.
Malfoy. I
That's
imagine
so
her
rude.
as Draco's mama.
She has a new album coming out. It's called Reputation. This is being labeled as a Kanye West diss and a Kim Kardashian diss and all that other stuff. And honestly, I don't give a fuck about any of that. Like, I had my fun with the whole Taylor Swift dragging and Kim Kardashian got snake emojis that she's riding or whatever. Like, that was whatever. Here's the thing. I do think that the whole releasing the album on Miss Donda's birthday. Sure.
I mean, it just so happens to be a Friday.
See, he says birthday, but they're talking about the anniversary of Kanye's mom's death. And the way they're discussing it is very matter of fact.
Birthday.
He said birthday, but he means her.
How would that matter?
The celebration of her death, or whatever the
Celebrities,
hell it is.
man, I don't get them.
It's unimportant
I don't know why
in an
people
album
give a shit.
release schedule. I know how that works. You're scheduling with UPS to deliver your Taylor Swift records with the Taylor Swift wrap on the UPS truck. This is a big operation. Now, I don't think they scheduled it to piss Kanye off on that one day. But that is what's being claimed, and it's just, they believe it.
0.7 G.
Be a Friday.
And that was not at
Pretty
all
low gravity on this moon.
I mean, there's a lot of other Fridays this year, but that one, it just had to be that one.
That specific day.
Yeah.
Sure, sis. I mean, we already know
this guy's insufferable.
Oh yeah, but it won't take too long, but listen to more things coming.
Like, this is the thing. So the song and video to me seems like it is addressing her dying and being like reborn as the villain that we all say that she is.
Yeah.
Like, she has this moment where she says, "Oh, the old Taylor can't come through the phone. Why? Because she's dead." She's done. Like, why you look so shocked? No one's that shocked. Like, basically saying every criticism she's ever heard about herself, except the ones that actually matter, like that colonial ass video that you put out.
Colonial ass video.
Like your anti-feminist rants.
Anti-feminist rants, which I think is because she didn't do any feminist rants, and therefore she's anti-feminist.
Put out. Like your anti-feminist rants, like the fact that you don't give a shit about black women, like the fact that you have pictures of yourself hugged up with a white man with a Nazi, a swastika.
Oh yeah. Wow, sounds all totally true.
For his, like, none of that.
She's talking about all the other stuff.
She's talking about the fact that she, gasps when she wins awards.
Right.
And you get a whole bunch of white girls to rally behind you because you came into the game.
Wow, they're really trying hard to start a race war down there, I'll tell you what.
Like, oh, look at everybody saying this stuff. No, girl, you absolutely did act super shocked when you would win all those awards. And you knew that you were going to win the award prior to winning them because your people made sure that you won those fucking awards.
Right.
And we clocked it. Don't be mad at everybody else and try and make videos like this now, girl, because you can't act. We've been able to see through all of this stuff all along, girl.
And now we go to the final racist slam, but I'll need some help from the chat room. Please pay attention.
What was the point of doing the shit? We knew it. Did I not say on this whole ass show that she was gonna come right back and do something and, talk about the history of snakes? So, Taylor Swift is a liar. Taylor Swift is the first White Walker.
White Walker. Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
You're asking
Boy,
me.
that seems really harsh.
Pay attention.
Well, I have White Walker. Well, let's do a little research.
People are saying yes.
Well, they're trying to.
Well, they're saying yes, but I'd like to know: is it therefore a racist comment, or is this the shame woman, or I'm not sure.
Liar. Taylor Swift is the first White Walker. She's the Twilight King. She sucks hard, and I can't stand her. And I am just satisfied with the fact that people finally see on a much larger scale what I've been trying to say, that she ain't shit. She ain't ever gonna be
definitely
shit.
Gonna go with the dirty drive tuning.
Walking white lies.
Walking white lies. Nice.
An ancient race of humanoid ice creatures who come from the far north of Westeros. Believed by many to be legends, they have returned and have been seen by several sworn brothers of
go for tier 1.
Watch this crap.
Several sworn
brothers of the night with an N. Night's
Thermal
Watch,
load thing's an issue.
And continues and countless wildings. Though a few living south of the wall seem to believe they still exist and are a threat. The White Walkers are thousands of years old from the time preceding the age of heroes, born of powerful and
I'm really worried, John. I'm worried that this popular culture is flowing over from one into the next.
Loads up.
People are confusing reality with Game of Thrones.
And this podcaster character, he's a big fan of Game of Thrones. I
guess, yeah. Now the final short clip here, this is the retort from his co-host, and this is how it's done. It's just all a fact. Yeah, everything you said is true.
I mean, I haven't heard anything but facts.
Facts.
The thing about Taylor Swift is that had she done the whole snake thing and embraced it like, wow, yeah, I was a lying-ass bitch and I was out here scheming behind your backs and nobody trusts me because they shouldn't trust me because I was out here lying on all types of niggas, then that would be one thing. But she turned it into a, oh no, you guys said you wouldn't do this and you did it and now you made me look bad and I'm the bad girl in your movies and all this other shit. And it's like, but But all of that is true.
Yeah.
Like, you still did those things.
You still
lied on Kanye. I don't know why you're trying to make this song like they painted you to be the bad guy and you weren't really. The thing about Taylor is that you are the things people say about you. You really do act that way.
And no matter how much money she has, she'll never
like
be
that
able
minus
to
25%
that she lied. And I there's no evidence that she did.
That's worse.
And you notice that all of this is all racial. It's her against Beyonce. It's her against Kimye. She's being shouted down by.
This is I think was maybe what I was trying to come up with. They on all these shows that I'm not talking about the extra. I'm talking about everything from anywhere there's promotion for Taylor Swift, which includes the Today Show, Good Morning America, all these
everywhere. Yeah.
They say that Taylor, this because I didn't go.
Okay, now we go to Todd.
For some reason, you got caught up in it, but they say that Taylor has been trying to start a feud with Kanye and Beyonce.
Yes,
and they don't get it. They're not even involved. They don't care. Oh, it's just a one-sided thing. It's only Taylor.
Right. Well, yes.
And now I'm thinking to myself, what is this going to sell more records? If it's not, to me, Taylor Swift is a marketing whiz.
I believe. So here's what I'd be looking for. I would be looking for the mainstream to flip on her because right now, she's a winner. She's spending tons of money, to drop the album. And I'm sure she's buying placement, and maybe she's even buying placement on the morning shows. It's totally possible.
Sure, she definitely.
I would think. But she's
Morning America in particular is just a placement buy.
But they love her, and when they flip, that's when shit's going to get really bad. When they flip on her, and they will.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing. Somehow we've seen this.
They're not going to flip on her if the money's coming in.
No, but the money will stop once the album promotion ends, and that's going to be, whenever it is. Whenever Kanye's mom died, the album promotion will start to die down. Now, so this did lead me down a different path about racism, and because I was, I've been watching the MTV Video Music Awards, I came across a video, an MTV News video, 5 things you should know about racism. And it was very surprising to me. And I don't think I agree with it, but it is MTV, and it's a little skit. And this girl, for purposes of you not being able to see it, black girl, and she's the main host. And then they cut back and forth to her, presumably dressed up like a white woman, because there's non-black, I guess, non-person of color, because you couldn't be anything else in the role she's playing. She got the voice, and she got the glasses on, her hair's all long and straight. So
and how's that not racist? It's a white face.
Thank you. Well, because you and I are doing something very dumb. We are relying on the dictionary. I mean, that's very stupid of us. Stupid. You're stupid. So we'll have to interrupt this, and we'll just go through it for a sec here.
I've got a challenge for you. Try talking about racism with your friends, family, or coworkers, and
by the way, what I think is going to happen to Taylor is what happened to Katy Perry, and it will marginalize her and put her out of business. Because Katy Perry, remember that she had the interview, and I was so wrong, and I didn't see it, I didn't understand it. And now, where is she now? She's hosting the loser VMAs, lowest ratings ever, and it's over. You got to be careful.
I've got a challenge for you. Try talking about racism with your friends, family, or coworkers, and get ready to watch people suffer.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's push through the discomfort. Don't worry, you can do it. We're going to talk about racism.
Well, the dictionary defines racism as the hatred or intolerance of another race.
That's the white girl version of the host.
Or races.
Well, yes, but racism's a little more complicated than that. The dictionary offers a very simple explanation, because it's just the dictionary. If you want to understand racism, you need to talk sociology. And sociology explains racism as a combination of prejudice and power.
Well, isn't that just convenient? Let's just ignore what the dictionary says.
No, we're not ignoring the dictionary, just going a little deeper. Think of it this way. If your car breaks down, you don't look up car in the dictionary to try and fix it, you go to a mechanic. So when it comes to getting the nitty-gritty of understanding how racism works, I say we should probably defer to sociologists, because you know, they study how people, organizations, and institutions work. It's kind of their jobs.
There you go. Let's just start with that. I find this to be wrong.
Well, why?
Why is the dictionary definition incorrect? Because you
have this false analogy of the car.
That's the part that blew me away. How does that make any sense? If your car breaks down, you don't look up car in the dictionary?
Yeah, that's what she said.
But you want to look up what a car is, you look it up in a dictionary. So let's listen in and understand what Are you interested in this?
I haven't cut it off. I haven't done my thing to make you mad yet.
So here are 5 things everyone should understand about racism.
Ugh! Talking about racism is so exhausting. It's like no matter what I do or what I say, someone's gonna call me a racist.
Good people can unintentionally say and do racist things. Racism isn't just burning crosses and racial slurs. It's not always a conscious hatred or dislike. People automatically associate...
You want to say something? Yep.
Where's the sociologist that we're supposed to be going to?
Who cares? That means...
I'm telling you, I was listening to this and you said you want to hear more. And I'm thinking, yeah, I want to hear what the sociologist has to say, because she makes a point.
Yeah, I know she does.
Of going to the sociologist to get her car fixed, I guess.
Yeah.
And we never go to the sociologist. She's still blabbering.
Yes. Yes, but it's to me, it's very...
Is she a sociologist? I don't think so.
I think she's an MTV News worker. Which is only a tad above podcaster.
Do racist things. Racism isn't just burning crosses and racial slurs. It's not always a conscious hatred or dislike. People automatically associate saying something racist with being a bad person. And while we can agree that being racist is bad, good people can say racist things, or just wind up supporting racist institutions and practices without even realizing it. Oh, so now it's my fault if I accidentally do something. We're not playing the blame game here, but accidents can still be hurtful. It's important to remember that intent isn't the issue, it's the impact. Like if I accidentally step on your toe,
intent isn't the issue?
But it's
oh my god, that's contrary to all law.
I have to acknowledge it, say that I'm sorry, and be more careful with my big ass feet.
You understand the analogy now? Yeah,
analogy is out of control.
Yeah, once you're called out for stepping on someone's foot, you have to apologize. You gotta make sure you never do it again.
If you want to get technical, there's really no such thing as race. We are all the human race. It's a social construct.
Race is a social construct, but that doesn't mean racism isn't real. A social construct is a category, perception, or idea created and developed by society, and then it's applied to individuals or groups. So yes, we're all part of the human race, but the human race did this funny thing where they categorized everyone based on skin tone and regions. Even though social constructs are made up...
That's kind of simplifying what happened in the world. Yeah, we just said, screw it, we're categorized by skin tone and where you're from.
They're still real. I mean, money is a social construct. Fundamentally, it's just a piece of paper, but it still keeps people up at night and has a huge effect on our day-to-day lives. Marriage, fashion, good and evil, they're all social constructs, but they're still real things. The same is true for race.
Any comments so far? Because we're almost done.
I'm glad we're almost done. That's my comment.
Black, pink, purple, polka dots. I don't know why we need all of these labels.
No doubt.
Let's just not see race. Just see everyone the same.
Colorblindness is not gonna fix racism. It's a good idea in theory, but ignoring race is not gonna solve racism. Race isn't the problem. Treating people differently based on race is the problem.
Okay. There is a difference here. Now we're getting finally into something the sociologist is trying to communicate so we understand racism, because so far I'm very confused.
Based on race is the problem. It's okay to see my race. I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore how someone looks. There's nothing wrong with seeing our differences. Our differences make us kind of cool.
Okay, but when are we going to talk about reverse racism?
Ah, here we go. The reverse racism.
Reverse racism is not a thing.
I've been bullied, beaten up, and called
all sorts of names in my lifetime, and you're gonna tell me that's not racism? Whoa, that sounds awful. I'm sorry, none of that stuff is okay. But those are examples of racial prejudice, not racism.
You see, this is the difference. There's a difference, and this is consistent everywhere I went to find out about so-called reverse racism, which of course doesn't exist. There's only racism. The difference is if it's against white people or non-people of color, then it is prejudice, not racism. How does that work for your definition?
Well, it doesn't really, it's really mumbo jumbo. Let's face reality here. Because what she just said about racism was it's not a bad thing. It's only when you treat people differently because of it. That's what she said about 3 sentences earlier. Yeah. And the only reason you treat people differently because of it is prejudice.
Yes.
So the prejudice goes both ways, but the racism terminology doesn't.
Selecting next system en route.
In our current environment, you mean?
Yeah, I guess it was. She is displaying, or she's evidencing. Oh, boy, bad writer. Bad. But I'm going to say it again. She's evidencing the current situation that you're talking about, and she's doing a pretty good job of it, I think. And the confusion that she displays, I think, fits right in too, because this is nuts what she's saying.
Yes, and
she's just this is babble 101, mumbo jumbo.
And this is what is being taught to our children of the land.
Yeah, and that's another thing. This is another cognitive dissonance issue, it seems to me, because none of what she says makes logical sense.
You're welcome.
I know that they're going to have, we have our, apparently Incognito still listens once in a while.
Oh, he does? Oh, good.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh.
And I think he must have listened to one of the shows where I called him out for not listening.
Now, look, for sure,
look at that.
We have listeners of all colors and creeds and religions.
There's a clips.
Yes.
So please.
And we have a lot of, we have all the religions are represented. And this is just, I'd like to hear, well, you guys, Incognito and some of our other black listeners, not all of them, but a lot of them, probably would agree with her, but I don't understand their logic if they do.
And she'll actually finish this up in this last bit where she says even she's confused.
Those are examples of racial prejudice.
Welcome, new viewers.
Racism. That's because racism isn't just about individuals. It's about institutional power. Racial prejudice is not cool, but when a person of color discriminates or stereotypes a white person because of their race, in the United States, they don't have the institutional power to back them up and say that those feelings are okay.
Now that I disagree with. Because, for instance, just to take a simple example, the BET Awards, there is institutional power in the music business for those awards and for BET in general. So there are examples of black institutional power, and I think there's many more, actually. If we really sat down.
There's lots.
Yeah. There's companies run by black CEOs, and there's all kinds of stuff. That's all institutional power. Or am I seeing that wrong?
Well, no, by her definition, you're seeing it wrong. Just because a black is a CEO doesn't mean that the operations still doesn't exhibit standard white power institutionalism. Being from Berkeley, I can make these arguments.
Right.
And it would sound reasonable, but I'm not buying it.
No. But I think it's important to understand.
I mean, it's almost as though this is a mechanism, it seems to me, that needs to be in play for some reason to benefit some people. This is a nonsense place. One of these things where you create a situation to get yourself. This is a power play. It's got nothing to do with racism. This all is bogus.
United States, they don't have the institutional power to back them up and say that those feelings are okay. Institutions are things like schools, government, the military, corporations, and our justice system. All of these things shape how people of color are treated as a group and as individuals.
We're scanning that one.
Racism is not
that one's
just
got water.
on a person-to-person basis. It's big picture things, like people with traditionally Latino or black-sounding names having a harder time getting job interviews, even when they have the same qualifications as white people applying for the same job. Or people of color facing harsher prison sentences for petty crimes in comparison to white criminals. It's also harder for people of color to get home loans, on top of housing discrimination that often keeps them out of predominantly white neighborhoods. This is how individual feelings about people of color are supported by institutional power. Prejudice of any kind isn't okay, but it's important to understand that prejudice and racism aren't the same thing. Huh. I never thought about it like that.
On water.
You are not the only one. Racism is complicated and overwhelming to think about, even for me. But understanding what racism is and what it isn't is the first step in fighting against it.
Now, I'm all for changing the meaning of words because you can't fight that, but let's do that and let's acknowledge it.
Earth-like world.
And then let's put our terms into the right categories. Prejudice.
Let's take a break for 1 second so I can mention something. Which is, as you went into the thing about blacks getting harsher prison sentences, we should
Earth-like worlds are worth lots of money.
One notch.
Exploration data.
Men get a harsher prison sentence than women who do the exact same crime, and the difference is not a little bit. And this stems from that movie that you kept telling me to go watch, which I finally did, about the men's movement.
Oh, the Red Pill.
The Red Pill. I would recommend this movie, and generally speaking, we try to exchange these. I saw it as sucked.
I'm afraid to recommend stuff to you.
That's why, he does this, and most of the stuff he recommended, not that it's not, and some of it's not good. The Red Pill is an absolutely fascinating movie, and it's written and produced and stars a woman who was all in on
feminism and the hate the red pillars.
Hate the man.
Yeah.
And she walked away from the whole thing, giving up on the idea that you should be this way, this sort of feminist. And that movie, The Red Pill, which I believe is free on, it's either Netflix or Amazon.
I think I watched it on. Oh, I don't. Either one, yeah.
It's there. It's around.
It was crowdfunded too. It was crowdfunded.
Yes, it was. Yeah. She's good. She is very good. She is as good as a lot of the. I guess she's done a couple of other documentaries, but this one is slick. It is very well done. I mean, you can't do a better job than she did.
She'll like hearing that because I think she listens, or maybe she does now.
I doubt it. But if she does listen, good. But it's a tremendous movie, documentary.
I'd have to watch that.
About these douchebags.
I don't know if I want to.
And the douchebags come out smelling like a rose in this thing, and they're completely misjudged and
represented.
They're misrepresented. And in fact, the situation we wanted to talk about a few minutes ago, where you wanted some examples of nonsense that gets promulgated and continued and pushed forward when we know it's not true, like the Georgia Russia thing. Is about these guys. And because I heard there was like some senator or congressman recently just bemoaning and telling these guys are just douchebag and the men's movement's bull crap and all the rest of it. And you watch this movie, I would recommend to anybody out there if you got it. It's the thing about this movie, because I knew that Adam's pushing me to watch this movie, and so
took me a couple of weeks, but here we are.
It's been going on, and so I'm going through something to watch rather than just constantly watching reruns of Family Guy. This movie shows up, and I said, I'll give it a few minutes. I figure it's going to be a piece of crap. And so I'm watching it, and I could not turn it off. I had to watch it. It wasn't like, I'm going to turn it off and watch it later. No, you have to. I'm warning anybody who wants to watch this movie, unless you think it's a piece of crap. If you start watching it, you will be stuck there for it's almost 2 hours, or it's around 2 hours long. So it's fair warning.
And what's interesting about it again is, and this is just a deficit in our society, and I'm seeing it really people cannot be reading with the way I'm seeing people write. And most egregious is there. Just people are not reading. Otherwise, you just wouldn't write. You wouldn't make these grammatical errors. And so it's headlines, and then it's the red pillars.
Shit, are we here?
Screw those guys, assholes. Yeah, assholes. No one actually reads anything or looks into it.
We are here.
And then again,
go shoot
like you
some
said,
stuff now.
it's a fact. These guys are horrible. They
Todd
hate
wants,
women. They want
credits.
to propagate the patriarchy. And I'm sure there's douchebags out there who do, but that's not the majority of the groups I saw in this, as you said, outstanding film.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes to these issues, we got to be very careful. And actually, Morgan Freeman, which popped up, and this I'll just end it here. He popped up in almost all of my searches and researching this stuff. And his advice on what to do about racism is very clear. And he actually, years ago, he started this. And you look on YouTube, he's very consistent. He always says the same thing. This was with Wallace on CBS.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well,
they're Oculus.
Reset an Oculus.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
You guys wanted.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism and
stop talking about it?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
And he's very consistent. Just stop talking about it. He gave Don Lemon an earful, too. Just stop talking about it, Don. Just stop. Look at us. We're two black men, very successful, lots of money. But people got to, you got to get going. Don't be a victim. I don't think that's very good for his career.
Freeman?
Yeah.
It's not this. I think it's a zero.
For him, zero-sum game.
Yeah, there's no downside. I mean, he's a character actor. He's hired for specific. He's the Morgan Freeman character.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which,
it goes like this: Get me Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, yeah, that guy. Wait a minute. We have a movie about God. Get me Morgan. He's always good to play God.
He could do it. He could do anything short of pedophilia, and his career is fine.
I'm always tracking the money battle between Netflix and Amazon, and there's a new original series on Netflix, and I'm not necessarily going to recommend you watch it, but it is another one of these. It's Kathy Bates, a Kathy Bates vehicle, who I believe is an Academy Award winner.
And she's a great actress.
And it's called Disjointed, and it's about a medical marijuana shop.
Oh, that would be funny.
And yeah, but it also has serious undertones about PTSD and use of marijuana. But it's also stoner. It's really interesting. I'm not going to recommend you watch it because you're going, this is stupid.
I might.
But it's Kathy Bates. But she is a very good actor. But again,
she began her career as a folk singer.
No, no, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, in fact, if you can go, I think on YouTube to have her sing. She's a good singer. She's a folk singer with the guitar. She plays the guitar, sings folk songs, and in hootenannies situations.
Oh, he did.
I don't know how she got into acting.
Buddy.
Well, she's making bank with this. That's how it works.
Making
bank. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage to say in the morning to you, John C. LSE stands for constantly evidencing Dvorak.
And not making bank, but today, maybe. We do have a few donors, but I want to say in the morning to you, Adam Kerr, also in the morning to Ships at Sea, and in the morning Boots on the Ground, Feeding the Air, and the subs in the water if there's any left, and all the dames and nights out there.
And in the morning to everybody in the chat room, noagendastream.com. Good to see y'all here on my birthday. And in the morning to Conan Salata, brought us the artwork for episode 960, title of that episode, Sandy Superstrong. Thank you, Barbara.
Oh, he's done.
Sandy Superstrong.
Sandy Superstrong. This was
nice.
We had trouble choosing the art for this episode. There were a lot of interesting choices, but we also go for aesthetics, I'd say, of the art. And this was
if you have even art and one of them is more professional, slicker, would tend to go with that one.
Just more artistically, it touches us.
Slicker. Slicker.
It touches me artistically, John.
I'm touched.
It's the solar eclipse over Houston with the water.
Yeah, that was
rising.
a good.
So
But this particular batch of art, it was just very. It was all. Everything was a B. It was a lot of good B art, but there was no A art, and this was the best of the Bs.
Yeah, and we liked it a lot, and we thank him and thank all the artists who will contribute their artwork for the show, for our album art at noagendaartgenerator.com, and that's why I give you credit up front. And I'd like to credit some executive producers and associate executive producers who are largely responsible for the production of today's program, episode 961.
We have 2 executive producers and 6 associate executive producers for today's show, starting with Sir Henry Clays in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He sent the note in. Let me get my cursor here and go to the notes and read his note. There's bears.
Oh my God, that's
Henry Clays.
Boy
Forgot
stuff.
to include the note in my donation. Adam, happy birthday!
Thank you.
53 times 10 years of no agenda.
Nice.
There's your 530.
Thank you.
Give my hot, hard-working wife deal karma. Hope one of her deals comes
Next
through.
hostile.
Henry the Baron of Outpost
Next hostile selected.
West.
You've got karma.
Now we have a sound that goes with Duke Nussbaum.
Wait, I have another one here. What is this?
I think the one singing one is more appropriate.
Come on, you son of a bitch.
Oh, the singing one, no.
I'll let you get away. That's right.
There you go. That's the one.
Someone's getting decapitated.
Duke Nussbaum, happy birthday, Adam, 10 times over. Again, 53, but he doesn't connect to the show the way Clay's creatively did. I thought that was nice.
Thank you.
Wish we were sharing a couple of cold ones. All the best to you and your loved one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Onward to Ryan Gilo, I believe it's pronounced that way, Gielow. Happy B-Day donation. Please send email sent to the Shill, Crackpot, and Buzzkill. I did not look up his email. I thought this was actually a note. Anyway, came in with $267.65. Gielow. I will go look.
OJ.
Giel.
I see he was trying to send me. This is Sir D.H. Slammer, I think, is who this is. That's why it's.
Oh, is that? Oh, I get D.H. Slammer mixed up because I know D.H. Slammer sent us.
I got it. Okay, I have it here. And I sent it to Eric. The D.H. Slammer family donation, $267.65, is to celebrate Adam's 53rd prime birthday. That's right. This represents 5353 from each of Baron Sir D.H. Slammer, Baronetess Dame Bang Bang, Sir Andrew Keeper of the Mountain, Lady Simona, and Master Emmett. That's 5 times 5353 is $267.65. And will be applied to the lady's future damehood accounting. A no-agenda family. Oh, thank you so much. He says, jingle request, an underwhelmed party horn. Okay, hold on a second. See, this is when I have to do when I'm doing it all.
This is the party horn that I keep requesting you keep playing something else.
Well, I think that party horns, usually we only use them for, celebratory episodes of the show, but I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, that one. That's
He's running.
He wants it playing the whole time as a jingle bed. He wants Shut Up Slave, Pew Pew, and Boom Shakalaka, the sophisticated voice version? The hell?
Which one of the little kids is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Just go give him a round or dig.
Okay, we'll do this then. Here we go.
Shut up, slave!
And boom shakalaka, brother!
You've got karma.
I think that's as sophisticated as it gets.
That's pretty good.
I didn't even know you had that one in abeyance.
Yeah, and he wanted to know if I could play a drone again, the full track at the end of the show. Yeah, I'll do that. That's a good one. I haven't played that in a while. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. D.H. Slammer and family.
Yeah. Daniel Armstrong, 253. He wants 2 to the head. Thanks for your persistent attention to the deconstruction of news. that is becoming more and more controlled. Well, the more I look into it, I'm pretty much convinced that it's been controlled since 1947.
For quite a while now.
The National Security Act was passed by Truman.
All right.
Thanks for your persistent attention. Okay. I would consider no agenda low-hanging fruit to real censorship efforts. I've listened since show 12.
Holy moly. All right, man.
You've got karma.
Onward with Aaron. That was Armstrong 253, I think. Yeah. And then we have Aaron Bear, $250, and he sent an email in, which I did find, wangled. Aaron Bear is Mr. Pugner. I continue to admire your work and your avuncular, curmudgeonly demeanor. Your value for value model remains a compelling light in our collective wilderness of M5M manipulation, and my support continues.
Power to
However,
weapons.
splitting hairs, or
Diverting power to
fucking, to put
weapons.
it more succinctly, about the nuance and intricacy of the bedeviling issue like race in America with a pair of free-thinking contrarians in a predominantly eccentric context, audience and podcaster alike is not only about as useful as tits on a bull, but also a recipe for frustration and futility akin to the commentary from the chat room's boners when the stream is fucking up. Jiggle this, you adolescent jackoffs. Put down the blunts long enough and ante up $5 a month, you stoner boners. I change topics like that. In addition, you will find the answer to your question about the whereabouts of D. Ray McKesson through a cursory search of a Fox News article titled D. Ray McKesson, Black Lives Matter activist, leaves Baltimore public schools. And you may appreciate the subtle racism of the piece by comparing it to the coverage given the story by your new favorites at theroot.com. I admire his work and currently position myself to be one of maximum service toward his future endeavors in the field of social justice. I especially agree with your analysis that the internet is complicating our elite's slow implementation of a police state. Your breadth of topics is a significant draw, but the show's lack of depth in light of the provocative content you discuss can, at times, be distressing. Without a creative or productive outlet, a frustrated listener such as myself can become an overboarder, if only for a sense of temporary relief until the M5M engineered state of unreality produces programming again becomes too much to bear.
Man overboard!
I may not have an immediate suggestion for the rest of your listenership. I can only tell you that I have found that service and action are only productive outlets for the unwarranted truths you present with your novel format and diligent efforts.
Or bad guys.
Whoa! My millennials.
Long time may you podcast. Thank you for your courage.
Yeah, this is the kind of criticism I like.
This is the incognito.
Yes, I figured. This is the kind of, yeah, I like it. Well, incognito, send more. Come on, man. You boots on the ground.
I thought it was funny that he called you out on the racist analysis that you did in this show, and he did it in advance of you doing it.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
The guy is from the future.
He doesn't really have any suggestions.
No. But the lack of depth is troubling, for sure. Of course, we're just a bunch of old, straight, white guys. What the hell do we know?
Yeah, what do you expect? This is the best we can do.
Yeah, come on.
And it's a novel format, like you said.
Yes. We should add privilege to that, John. Bunch of old, straight, privileged white guys.
Yeah, that's us.
OSPWG.
What we offer, we are that. That is what we are in today's environment.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what we are. But what we offer is a breadth, B-R-E with a D in there, of knowledge and worldliness due to our travel and experience.
Which you can utilize. Yes, and you can utilize that by challenging us with short emails. Not with long ones.
Nice.
Yeah, but that was a bit long.
No, I'm not talking. I'm just in general. You know, so for instance, I read that President Lincoln said, "Hey, the Civil War is about the Union, not about slaves." Period. And that's all I said. I didn't say much more. But I think I specifically said, I don't need you to weigh in on this anymore. We're not going to figure it out.
Well, we figured it out.
Yeah, we figured out that everyone still disagrees, and then they have very long emails to prove their point.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
They need to do a podcast.
Do your own, yes. Get your own podcast. And if you want us to read this stuff, just give us $200 and you know. Although we have cut some of the emails down.
Yeah, no, let's not promote that.
Good.
We've cut them down.
Thank you, Incognito. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Heat sink.
Deploying heat
shield cell.
Yes, well.
Activating shield
onward.
cell.
Let me get back to the spreadsheet.
Shield cell.
Mark Drinkwater?
Activating shield
yes, Mark
cell.
Drinkwater came with $250, and I looked and looked and looked. He's in New Zealand, and there's nothing I can find from him. So there's nothing. Donald Cool, $212 follows him. He's now a Baron. Do we have him on his list? I think so.
Yes, we do.
See email with accounting and my note and request since effing PayPal limits the number of characters. It's not necessarily true. I've seen people put a very long notes into PayPal into that box. So I don't know. Maybe an old link or something. How do you spell it? I didn't.
K-U-E-H-L. I have it here. John Adam, I was hit in the mouth 5 years ago this month by Sir Shyster, destroyer of cones, a.k.a. Brian Mancuso. And on this anniversary, I'm stepping up to Baron. Please bestow on me the title of Baron of New Hampshire. If not available, Baron of Merrimack Valley. I believe, let me see what the back office has done. Oh, you're becoming... Oh, Eric the Shill actually made him both.
Both of what?
Well, Eric the Shill said Baron of New Hampshire and Merrimack Valley, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, let's use that.
All right. The donation today of $212 was also in honor of Adam's 53rd birthday, 4 times 53. Thank you guys for the sanity you provide in the twisted world of bullcrap news. It's definitely good for one's mental health. Please give a hit of karma for myself and all my friends and family, along with the juice and 2 shots to the head. Okay. Yep. That's it, and then some karma. Okay.
Oh my gosh! Can you see that juice? You've got karma.
There we go. Value for value rules, he says.
And finally, Jeffrey Fitch in Edgewater, Florida, $200. He'll be our last associate executive producer for show 961, I believe.
Yes, 961.
And he says, happy birthday, karma, please. Jonathan Fitch, and he wants a douchebag check.
Oh, okay. Douchebag check it is.
Douchebag check.
It's almost better when you do it.
Douchebag check.
Here it is. It always takes a second to find that particular one.
Douchebag check. No, douchebag check.
There you go. Douchebag check.
Shoot the hell out of this guy.
And was there more to the note, or just needs 2 to the head in the karma?
Did he say 2 to the head? I didn't see that.
Oh, well, I thought
just happy birthday and karma.
Okay.
You've got karma.
Alrighty. Thank you all very much. That's very flattering.
Yes, we appreciate these folks for being the top producers and executive producers for the show 961. And we'll be listing all the well-wishers later in the show that have the 53 specific donation for Adam's 53rd birthday, which is today.
Yes.
In the middle of a 3-day weekend, and here he is on his birthday working.
Yeah, woo! And thank you, by the way, for the newsletter, because you had an interesting little side note almost about September
carrying your death,
babies. which was really disturbing because, you know, you said, well, this is obvious that there's always a boom of children 9 months after New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And you know, you made me think, well, parents having sex. It's like the worst thing in the world.
Next hostile.
Yeah, that was bad, but I was off a month.
Oh.
Somebody pointed out, hey, do your math, Dvorak.
Yeah, it's actually, it's 10 months, really.
No, it's 8.
What do you mean 8? No, but...
Yeah. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September is 8.
I was conceived like just beginning of December, probably just a...
Yes, you were right after
a drunken
right
mistake.
after the Thanksgiving holiday.
Drunken mistake.
Thanksgiving. They were doing it with the turkey.
Look, all I know is my dad was really angry he had to sell the Austin Healey when I was born, so that kind of set the tone for our relationship.
Why would he have to sell anything?
You couldn't put the baby seat in the back.
Oh, so what?
Yeah, Yeah, let's not go down 53 years of angst, okay? Let's not do that on the show. Thank you all very much, our associate executive producers. Please remember we have a show come up on Thursday.
Dvorak.org/NA.
So while you're celebrating my birthday, go out there and propagate the formula as a gift.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Damn it.
Somebody sent me, it's downstairs, I didn't bring it up, I made a mistake, but somebody sent me a script of gags about your birthday. It wasn't funny, for starters, so I'm not worried about running down there and getting it.
Okay, good.
But I would love to do it, so I'm going to probably I'm going to do the script on the next show.
Okay. Well, you've excited me now. Very excited.
This guy's writing. He's I should get some. I have joke writer friends. I can actually get material.
Yeah.
We can always get Marty to do it if he's probably overboard now. We stopped reading his gags, and that was the end.
Oh, well, sorry. Come on, Marty, come back. Oh,
right back, folks.
So I had a quick lunch with the former New York banker.
Again?
Yes. We had a dinner.
I should get a room.
And now I have updated Gary Cohn information. Yes, this is what you wanted.
I did.
Gary David Cohn, who is the president's financial advisor. Then, is he a Goldman guy?
Probably.
I think so. So the reason why he is staying right now with the administration and not leaving, despite incredible peer pressure from the Jews.
I thought the news wants to get rid of Miller.
No. The Jews are saying that Gary Cohn, he's not a good Jew if he stays. Remember that whole letter that was going around?
Right.
They call him out. They call him out specifically.
Well, Miller's a Jew too, I think.
Could be. It doesn't matter. But they call out Gary Cohn specifically as, and also Jared Kushner.
Bad Jew.
Bad Jew. The reason why he's staying is he believes that he will be the next Federal Reserve chair, and if he leaves, he's afraid Mnuchin will get it. How about that?
That's interesting.
How about that?
Yeah.
And Mnuchin, whose daddy was, one of the founders of Goldman Sachs, and what a dick that guy is. That's his third wife.
Mnuchin?
Yeah. The one who tweeted the
I thought
Instagram.
You liked him because he has Tourette's.
I like that part, but he's given Tourette's a bad name.
Well, nobody associates him with Tourette's. I think I'm the only one who's ever noticed it.
His Tourette's has gotten a little better. Maybe they have some cool medication they give people. Like, oh God, we got another one with Tourette's.
I think he's doing the same thing you do. He's self-aware.
But I think that's an interesting bit of
reconfiguring Rift.
Huh? Oh, those guys are in competition.
Yes.
The real president.
Yes, for the real president of the world. Exactly. The real job, the job that really matters.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're keeping up with this guy.
But he's not.
Shields Online.
I like the fact that these guys stay in the gossip stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, he goes back to New York.
What's up, Moto Madness? Welcome to stream there, bud.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good.
Yeah, and we're buds. We're buds.
Brain doctor.
Yeah, we're buds. The brain doctor's lost. He's gone. He's actually posting articles about how stupid we are, that we don't understand that Harvey was about climate change. That's his contribution.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It makes nothing but sense.
We're doing weapon modifications for today, folks.
Until climate change.
And
I need to rack up some credits.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, when that big one, that
Todd McBlaster, or whatever his name is.
They said it was going to be, this is it, every year.
Oh, shit,
was 10
son.
years ago.
Who died? Dustin Haywood.
All right. I got a couple of shorties here. This is something that has to do with the Houston situation. They were doing an announcement before that factory blew up that made hoses or whatever.
Yeah.
And this guy that came out, I wanted to play this clip before. This is this dick that comes out to give a press conference about this thing going to blow, and is it going to be dangerous? Is the smoke going to be dangerous? Where the FEMA guys are screaming and waving their arms, get out of the way, it's going to be terrible. But play this clip.
Smoke fumes sending 15 sheriff's deputies to the hospital. Worried residents are getting mixed messages from the government. Local officials downplay the danger. What does it mean for people's health?
What does it mean for people's health? You don't want to stand in smoke, do you? So the sheriff says it's like a campfire.
So the things burning there are no more dangerous than a campfire?
Yeah, I did not say that, sir. You don't want to inhale smoke.
Yeah, you did.
Okay? I mean, that's plain and simple.
But from FEMA, the message was more alarming.
Yes, the plume is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, go ahead.
Who was that dick?
I don't know who that.
You don't want to stand in smoke, do you? You don't want to stand in smoke. Oh, it's going to be like a campfire. Hey, you mean it's no dangerous? I didn't say that. I said you don't want to stand in smoke and breathe smoke, do you, punk? That's a dick.
Yeah, I agree.
How does that guy become a spokesperson for anyone?
Yeah, I don't know. I got an email from someone who has to remain anonymous. Funny. I'm just looking for it here. He is a high-ranking official, just in the vicinity of this. Trying to be as obscure as I can.
Somebody jumped in.
But when when there were cops who came over to to kind of keep an eye out, they were given a gas mask and one of those chemical strips. If it turns orange, you should be getting the hell out of there. And so whoever's in charge of those guys said, you know what, you're not standing there at all. Out, everyone out. I think it's much more dangerous than is being let on.
Well, I've got to mix the. All I found out so far about what's there.
I'm glad you did.
I'm sure there's PVC. Polyvinyl chloride is really nasty to breathe, but nobody said anything about smelling that. But they did mention there's a bunch of peroxides that are being used, and those are they're not like necessarily toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not safe, but they're not toxic. But they explode. Peroxides are the most dangerous thing in a chemical lab, generally speaking.
Peroxides super reactive.
And they just go off. They just blow up for no good reason.
Yeah.
We had, when I was at Union Oil, we had peroxides that were kept separately. Some different kinds of peroxides, not hydrogen peroxide, but the other ones, some other ones. And you'd have to throw them out every 6 months because they started to
become unstable.
Yeah, they just would blow it to take the lab out.
The oxygen and hydrogen.
Oh.
Well, that's not the biggest of Houston's problems. Did you see? I don't want to spend too much time on it. Did you see the document that's been floating around?
No bad guys around here.
Just before Harvey hit land above Reeves, Texas, they were seeding the clouds for rainfall.
How we do it?
I don't know if the document's real. I can't find an official origin.
Bull crap.
It looks.
Turn this in.
Well, that would do it.
It looks real. Let me just see. Where's Reeves, Texas?
I'm gonna go back there and turn that in.
Let me see. From Houston. Reeves County.
Superman.
What's that?
All right, fuck it. Let's go see Todd.
Your line.
Yeah, very.
Retract hard points.
Retracting all weapons.
Well,
it's probably just a small town, small Texas town with a guy that talks like this.
That's exactly what it is. That's pretty much the way all of us are here.
Trophy camp.
Well, you've got to think about a Texas accent, especially when it's coming from the middle of Texas. They talk.
Hey, by the way, this is total bull crap. That's almost.
I'm telling you.
That's almost near El Paso. Okay, right.
Yeah, they weren't seeing any clouds there.
Yeah.
Fact check false.
Okay, we're done with that then.
Okay, I've got a couple. Here's the one. Now, this was an interesting native ad that because it's funny that you would be on the pop culture bandwagon today, and so I'm on the pop culture bandwagon with a piece from Extra that looked like a piece. It looked like, you know, one of the
like
little
a package,
stories.
A package.
Package is a package.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was an advertisement.
Extra, extra.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Listen to this.
Extra, extra. She is a mom, an actress, an author, and host of The Real, Tamira Mori.
Yes, oh, thank you. We'll be starting our 4th season of The Real.
It's really, and you're going live?
I kind of get freaked out a little bit.
Okay, you are so busy. You have 2 kids.
So I have 2 under 5.
Unbelievable.
Imagine that, people.
How do you manage all the chaos that's in your house, the good chaos?
I naturally have hectic days, especially before the back-to-school season. Actually, Total Wireless had done a recent survey
Where's my
that
chair?
said that more than half of moms find that planning for the back-to-school season, get this, is more stressful than the holidays. I rely on my smartphone and Total Wireless just to give me that confidence. To
Totally
get
an ad.
through that
This is
chaos.
such an advertisement. It's called native advertising, and they hide advertisement in news.
Total Wireless Family Plan. All you have to do is go to extratv.com. But right now, what do you say
This is
we
very
hook up some
subtle,
of
though.
our audience?
Disgusting.
Only one show is your ultimate source for Emmy award-winning entertainment news.
All right. Now, that was what was interesting to me about that native ad was the editing within the ad itself. They were doing close clip, so the girl would say, "What?" and she'd get cut, and she'd be talking again. There were a lot of really tight cuts in there that had really kind of screwed up the flow, it seems to me, if you listen to it. You must have heard about 10.
Oh, totally.
And I was wondering, well, I said, this is a native ad. And I went back and I looked at the waveforms and the timings.
Oh, yes, we can really see the edits. Yeah, it must have been 15, maybe even.
There was a ton of edits. So the package, the ad, the advertisement was exactly 1 minute.
Yeah, of
so
course.
So they paid for a 1 minute ad, and that's what they got.
I got to get the rate card for this stuff. I wonder
and
what.
By the way,
that costs.
This is the thing that you'd think that they'd give them a little bit of a break. I mean, you buy this spot, they give you 1 minute, and they cut the thing up so tight that they won't even let the person say anything. You finish a sentence, and it was. I thought it was just. That is to me was outrageous that it was cut down so it could be exactly 1 minute. Total Wireless, hello.
Yeah, great job.
Landing gear.
Great job.
Lowering
beautiful. I just want the rate card. I want to know how expensive that is.
You can get it. I'm sure you can get it.
Yeah.
Just ask, you know.
Well, that's good.
I love the way you did that ad with Total Wireless.
Hey, could you tell me what the cost is of such an ad? I'm thinking I might want to do something like that. I've been.
Here's another Democracy Now! Clip I want to get out of the way. It says a parson is
there we go.
A pardon. This, when I heard this,
I've
never thought about this until I heard this particular clip. They're just going nuts, especially the Democrats, about this Joe Arpaio thing, which was, I guess, he's being pardoned for contempt of court or something.
What we have for mods.
But let's play this, and I'll tell you what my bitch is.
On Capitol Hill, Democratic members of the House Judiciary Committee are demanding a hearing into why President Trump pardoned the notorious racist Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who is convicted of...
Wait, what did she call him?
Notorious racist.
Holy shit.
On Capitol Hill, Democratic members of the House Judiciary Committee are demanding a hearing into why President Trump pardoned the notorious racist Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who is convicted of contempt of court for defying a court order to stop his deputies from racial profiling. All 17 Democratic members of the committee signed a letter to Republican Chair Bob Goodlatte calling the pardon a gross injustice and saying it's, quote, highly problematic for the president to simply dismiss a pending criminal matter. The letter came as a federal judge refused to throw out Arpaio's conviction for contempt of court, even though Trump's pardon will keep him out of prison, ordering Arpaio to appear in court on October 4th. Arpaio's attorneys had asked U.S. District Judge Susan Bolton to vacate her finding that Arpaio is guilty of a crime.
Well, that means
I'm super happy with that.
Convicted.
he'll get the conviction or the sentencing, but he just doesn't have to serve it. Is that what I'm understanding?
That could happen. I don't know where it's going to go down, but I realize, because I remember during the entire Obama administration, all along,
and we'll do the same for
the whole first 8 years until the very end, people say Obama's a jerk because he never pardoned anybody. He hasn't pardoned anybody. He pardoned one guy. They're going on and on about his pardons not being up to snuff. That and a few other things that he did were not. There weren't enough of them.
Right.
And then at the end of
not nearly as good.
He did a lot.
I think he pardons like 1 million people.
No, let's not say that. But I think it was 1,200.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a million. Why don't you say a gajillion then?
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
So 1,200, and I realized that Clinton did the same thing when he pardoned Mark Rich and all these douchebags. Always at the end.
Interesting side note. We need to remember to mention these things. James Comey was instrumental in the Mark Rich pardon.
Yeah, that's pretty suspect.
How you know what I'm saying? Right before
you know what I'm saying, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right before he threw Martha Stewart in jail.
Right,
big man.
Just throw Martha Stewart in
big
jail.
Man. By the way, Notorious Racist, great rap name.
That is a great rap name, especially with spell RACISS.
Notorious Racist.
Not great.
I caught a different description of Arpaio with a little beautiful.
I think we could have done better in
politically
DPS.
correct language usage in this. This is from a new website, to me at least, Fair, F-A-I-R.
Nope, much worse.
Fair.org. We got to keep an eye on this one. I only found it this morning, so I haven't looked into it. Don't know who's behind it, but it's where they say fairness and accuracy in reporting.
Yeah, this is not new. This is an old.
I don't.
Old
no, because it says challenging media bias since 1986.
Yeah.
But they do little. I think some of these may air on NPR. It sure sounds like it.
There's a great deal to be said about Donald Trump's pardon for criminal racist Joe Arpaio.
I like that one, too.
This one I like.
Ladies and gentlemen, notorious racist, meet criminal racist.
Wow.
That's harsh, man. Was he convicted of? He wasn't convicted of racism.
He's a sheriff, for God's sake.
He wasn't convicted of racism. I don't care what he did, but I do. But he's not a convicted criminal racist.
There's a great deal to be said about Donald Trump's pardon for criminal racist Joe Arpaio, the former sheriff of Maricopa County, Arizona,
level 4
charged with criminal contempt for refusing to comply with the court's order that he stop unconstitutionally profiling Latinx people. While Arpaio was a cable TV favorite, the Latinx people his policies targeted were not.
Did you
Open Galaxy map.
Latinx?
Yes, Latinx. This is the.
Are they from New Jersey?
No. Months ago there was a clip. We played it. Maybe I still have it somewhere. That you no longer say Latino. You can't say Latinos or Latinas because the minute. Hold on a second. I bet you I have it. Yes. This is the
let's go get some money.
Woman.
Yo, dude, check out this article. 10 annoying things all.
And then we're gonna go do a community goal of shooting things.
The point was, you can't. We have to remove Latina and Latino because whenever a man joins a group, then it's Latinos.
Part your hand over.
And it always defaults to the male. That's how their language works.
That's the way the language works.
Yeah, so no longer. You're hearing it here. You just say Latinx. That's like
Latinx. Yeah. Latinx, New Jersey.
Latinx, Kleenex. I don't know what they're trying to do, but that is the new term.
I have not heard this at all in the Bay Area. We have a lot of Latinos.
Now, we could do our shield.
Latins.
Go turn in the money first. And
we have a lot of
the shield generator mod
and Chicanos in the Bay Area, and I've never heard this term.
Well,
I'm not buying it. It's not going to catch on. No one's going to say it. Latinx.
I like it that they're using it. I like that white people are using it. That's my favorite part.
White people seem to be screwed up.
Especially.
That's for the purpose of the incognito.
That's right. White people are no good.
That comment.
We're crazy. Back to
the myriad of miscellaneous clippage. How about
you've had? Can I just make an observation? You've had an interesting cough, and I've heard it on DH Unplugged. Are you okay?
It's from getting hoarse from talking too much.
You got to stop. You cut back on the podcasting, bro.
Bro. Well, let's start. Let's back up a little bit and do the this week ahead from the Charlie Rose Weekly Show.
Oh yes, we always love listening to this.
And here's a look at the week ahead. Sunday is the BRICS annual summit in Xiamen, China. Monday is Labor Day. Tuesday is the day Congress returns from recess. Wednesday is the 20th anniversary of Princess Diana's funeral. Thursday is the day the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs kick off the NFL regular season.
Enter Oculus.
Friday is the day former Congressman Anthony Weiner is sentenced in his sexting case. Saturday is the women's final of the U.S. Open.
Wow, a dynamic segment.
Every time I hear that segment, I go, who's picking these things?
Well, I like the Anthony Weiner sentencing.
Gauge frame shift drive.
How's that the thing to look forward to?
Drive.
Oh, come on.
It's supposed to something you should look forward to. I can see maybe the football game. But why would you look forward to? Who cares about Anthony Weiner?
Oh, I care.
Next system en route.
Yeah, sure you do.
Selecting next destination.
It will dominate the news cycle. I guarantee you.
And this report is the Xiamen thing has already happened. He said a Xiamen. This big meeting of the BRICS.
Yeah.
And I have a report. It's already. I mean, this has been underway for days.
Right. Yes.
It's not like starting on Saturday. So let's play Big BRICS meeting. This is very interesting stuff.
Non-tariff barriers to facilitate trade among the BRICS countries.
In the past 1 year, we achieved a lot in BRICS cooperation institution, such as the 5 countries united for the international institution reform. Also, we push the IMF reform, we push the international trade reform, and we united for call for the next wave economic globalization.
While some observers doubted the robust development momentum of the BRICS countries, many experts said it will become increasingly clear that closer cooperation among the BRICS countries will have a positive impact on global order. Over the years, the fortunes of the BRICS may have risen or fallen, and each BRICS country has its own challenges. Experts believe as long as the 5 BRICS countries stay united, the BRICS will never lose its luster. Rather, it will shine ever more brightly.
Maybe we should just explain the BRICS for a moment.
I don't like this.
Yeah, but just go ahead.
The BRICS, Brazil, monster country, South America, the biggest country south of the equator. It's always the country of the future. It comes and goes, but it's got a lot of potential. But they're teamed up with South Africa, which is just for the purposes of the S. I don't know what South Africa can contribute to this group, but you've got Russia, China, and India.
Yep.
This is a nasty group of people in terms of the potential for economic
power. Yes, the power. The world order.
Yeah, the world order. So I don't know. I'm always skeptical about the BRICS. And then we have this report, which is another report from China. If you listen to the Chinese news, you get some of this stuff. Not discussed here, that's for sure. China and Russian space.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to hit your cues, but you.
Yeah, you're doing it. Yeah, some days this is fantastic, and I think I'm the one screwing up.
Yeah, it's your brain.
It's the heat.
It's the heat.
Russia's space industry has made great achievements over the course of its history, but after the collapse of the Soviet Union, its space program has suffered from a chronic shortage of funds. In order to keep it afloat in the face of ever-rising costs, Russia is looking for international partners and collaboration. Besides working with the US and Europe, a promising deal is about to be signed with China.
This agreement covers 5 areas of collaboration with our Chinese partners.
I am still here.
Lunar and deep space exploration, developing special materials, collaboration in the areas of satellite systems, Earth remoting sensing, and from this year we plan to introduce a new area that will cover space debris research.
The idea and possibility of once again having humans return to the moon moon has floated around for quite some time.
Oh, please.
But after this deal, that prospect is turning into reality. This is not the first space agreement between China and Russia, but it is the first to cover a partnership spanning 5 years, a period that allows for more ambitious plans and goals to be achieved. But is it sufficient?
I see several areas in which it should be improved. It is necessary to bring political decisions that need to say that in piloted space missions, we will go together with China, and we are inviting other countries to join us.
The question is,
man, China and Russia are crushing the space game right now.
Services to them?
Probably.
Oh, that would be interesting.
He's a commercial enterprise after all.
And you could hire, well, he may be restricted.
I bet you certain technologies he has can't be sold.
That makes no sense.
Especially to China and Russia.
Right.
Well, yeah, from our perspective. I look forward to them landing on the moon. If those guys even get a little bit close, if they actually get through the Van Allen belts, you're going to see some very panicked people at NASA.
We'll find out. Eventually, somebody's going to do something.
Eventually, someone will actually land on the moon.
So we have another local story, which is kind of annoying, slightly annoying.
I have the same one, but we'll play yours.
The Russian San Francisco consulate?
Yeah, I got a few extra clips on that. Let's hear that. Oh, you have a long... Well, just a quickie. Hold on. Just a quickie to lead us into it. This is from your local news station. Helicopter shot.
Chopper 5 over the Russian consulate in San Francisco. Check this out. Black smoke pouring from the chimney. The U.S. government ordered the consulate to shut down by tomorrow. And now the consulate staff is probably sitting there destroying records, rushing to clear out the building.
Everybody, check this out. There's smoke coming out. All right, we'll play your clip.
Today, the Trump administration has ordered...
Stopping.
It was a spare the air day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Explain that to everybody, please.
Well, in the Bay Area, we have these things called spare the air. Of course, I got into a beef with my wife about this because I said, I'm cooking outside in the barbecue. Because I'm not going to heat up the house any hotter than it is by cooking inside. And she says, it's a spare the air day. It's a spare the air day. And so I said,
wait a minute, is that your interpretation of Mimi?
Yeah, she
Holy
knows it.
Crap.
She can do it too, by the way.
She does you?
She can do that voice.
Oh. You should hear her do you.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, so I said, I don't care. Being an air pollution inspector. So, but I did care because I care. And I looked it up. You can grill on spare the air days in the Bay Area, a very little known fact. And I thought about this because I remember when I was in air pollution district decades ago, they had this thing that went on about open fires and burning and wood and all the rest of it. If anything involved
finally, we're almost there.
It was exempt. There was a big deal about this.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we're going to just cash in a community goal and get ourselves $11 million. Then we're going to modify the shields on this thing. If you got any suggestions for shield modifications, let me know.
And so I looked it up, and there it was. You know,
I think it boosted.
They don't advise it, but they're not going to fine you or anything. But you can't burn that stuff in the fireplace like they did in the Russian consulate. Just to let you know.
So they violated local ordinance, those damn Russians.
Today, the Trump administration has ordered Russia to close its consulate in San Francisco and to do so by this Saturday. Russia also has to scale back its diplomatic presence in Washington, D.C. and New York. KTVU's Jana Katsuyama is in our newsroom tonight to explain what's behind this and what it means for Northern California's Russian community. Jana?
Frank, this is just the latest in a series of...
Put him in a camp!
...retaliatory actions between the U.S. and Russia. Just weeks ago, Russia kicked out some American diplomats in retaliation for U.S. sanctions over Russia's election interference. Still, many people were shocked by this closure. The San Francisco consulate is one of the oldest in the U.S., and it prompted a rush to get in the doors before they shut for good Saturday.
Damn, there's that rash again. Did she say rash?
Rush.
Oh, I thought she said rash. A rush. Okay.
Many people were shocked by this closure. The San Francisco consulate is one of the oldest in the U.S., and it prompted a rush to get in the doors before they shut for good Saturday.
Above the Russian consulate in San Francisco, the red, white, and blue of the Russian flag was still flying. Along Green Street, people waited at the gate outside the building in Pacific Heights after hearing news about the United States ordering Russia to close the consulate by Saturday.
It was a huge shock.
This woman from Pleasant Hill was among many who rushed over to try and complete paperwork before the deadline.
I had to drive up today to get my passport.
Olga Tarlikova from Emeryville says she has friends planning to fly up Friday after hearing about the closure.
They are coming from South California tomorrow.
Given that a lot of embassies, U.S. embassies in Russia were closed, it was expected.
The State Department says it was in retaliation for Russia's decision to limit U.S. diplomats in Russia.
Our goal is really to find a way to get to better relations between our two countries.
The Russians expelled over 700 U.S. diplomats a few weeks ago in retaliation for the sanctions imposed by Congress. We really haven't seen this kind of thing with Russia since the Cold War.
Stephen Zunas, a politics professor at the University of San Francisco, says the consulate closure is also closing a chapter of San Francisco's history.
The Russian consulate has been here in the city since 1852. It is the longest running consulate in the entire United States. It goes back to the time of the czars.
San Francisco is home to thousands of Russians and Russian Americans with churches, businesses, and strong roots and history in the city. For many, the consulate closure represents more than a loss of convenient travel documents and support for cultural programs. It is also a sign of the times.
They're going to keep one open in Seattle and Missouri or someplace. But why are they closing this one? It's 1852.
Well,
I was very annoyed by the history of this thing. I didn't know it was that old.
I have a couple of things to say about this. First, let's listen to the RT timeline. They have a little different version than that report.
Well, let's have a quick look then at where this tit for tat actually started. And back in December.
Hey, that's a phrase from the Shays. Tit for tat.
It is. I like it.
Where does that come from, tit for tat? I'm hoping it has something to do with breasts. But I'm not sure.
I actually really doubt it.
Well, you can look that up.
Well, let's have a quick look then at where this tit for tat actually started. And back in December, then President Barack Obama expelled 35 Russian diplomats over claims of election meddling. President Putin, though, didn't retaliate. Instead, he invited the children of U.S. diplomats in Russia to a New Year party, actually at the Kremlin. However, then in July, after the U.S. passed new sanctions against Russia, Moscow expelled hundreds of U.S. diplomats, cutting their level to the same number that Russia has in the U.S. After that, Trump extended the sanctions following a congressional vote, and now Washington has closed the Russian consulate in San Francisco.
So they omit the hacking of the election there. They just then the U.S. just ratcheted up some sanctions. So whether it's true or not. Then I do have the RT report, which again is very different from what you played for us, but that's kind of the geniusness of it, I guess.
Well, while the U.S. plans to search the Russian trade mission in Washington, early on Friday, it was reported that the FBI was planning to search the general consulate premises in San Francisco, which means that in just a few hours, staff members will have to clear their premises for the U.S. security services to conduct the search. Now, it will not only be carried out at Russia's consulate offices, but also at the apartments of staff who live in the building and who have diplomatic immunity. Now, U.S. authorities have ordered staff members and their families, and we do know that some families have children and babies, to leave their homes for up to 12 hours. Now, Russia's diplomatic staff was given quite a short notice, only a 36 hours warning. Now, the State Department has said that the facilities will be closed and entry or access there will be granted only with a special permission. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova slammed these U.S. intentions. She called it a raid and an invasion in the consulate office and homes of staff. She also said that the orders of the U.S. authorities pose a direct threat to security of Russian citizens and also seriously violate international norms on diplomatic and consulate relations.
We are talking about invasion
invasion of the consular offices and departments of diplomatic staff, with the latter being asked to leave, not to stand in the way of the FBI. We reserve the right
Let's
to
go get some upgraded shields and go shoot some things.
This is not our choice. It's been forced upon us.
This diplomatic row has been unfolding quite rapidly in the past few days. Now, Russia says that this conflict wasn't started by Moscow, but the U.S. administration. Both sides continue to say that they do want to establish good relations. But given the latest circumstances, it is really unclear whether it's still possible.
Now, my understanding from our producers in the, what do you call them, in the diplomatic circles, is this is a rather dangerous game to play. Entering a consulate of another country, and that's why they use the word invasion in that report, can be legally seen as an act of war. It's one thing to say you got to go home. It's another thing to, it's their turf, the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
The American embassy.
Their country, actually.
It's their country, correct. So that it is technically an invasion. And I don't know if this is Tillerson, if this is, it sounds more like a-hole generals. It's happening in the background of BRICS, which is, the timing is, should not go unnoted.
Right, exactly the same time.
So.
And in fact, BRICS, or the BRICS meeting in that this week in advance, or whatever it's called, specifically mentioned it starting on Saturday, which is not true, but it seems to me that it was like a message.
Did they say Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday,
yeah.
Yeah, Sunday. Well, but Sunday would be the days that they'd have to be completely out, supposedly.
And I believe the Russian...
I don't know what they're gonna... I don't know how they can do this, to be honest about it.
It's not okay. I don't know why we're doing it. I mean, no, I do know why. It's to plant bugs, obviously. They're not looking for anything. Well, the plant stuff.
The newest technology.
Yeah, the newest technology. And once again, just as a side note, our embassy in, and this could be related, our embassy in Cuba was attacked again with the sonic weapon.
I didn't get that piece of news.
Well, let me read it to you. Oh, here we go. New sonic attack. It's not from the most trustworthy source, but new sonic attack is reported in Cuba with 19 U.S. diplomats now suffering mysterious health problems. Another sonic attack against U.S. diplomats at the embassy in Havana is feared to have taken place in August. The newest incident is said to have affected another 3 diplomats, bringing the total number of people harmed to 19. Some lost their hearing, others suffered mild brain injuries. And, you know, you could see this as a Russian, possibly Russian attack, considering it's Cuba.
Well, you can see it as, I mean, the Cubans keep saying they want to investigate it. You can see it as another kind of a different way of getting into the place to plant bugs.
Yeah. I mean, they could just ask, just say, hey, get the hell out so we plant the bugs. You don't have to give people brain damage.
Well, they may have already done that. I mean, the newest technology. I would like to know what the newest bug technology. We must have.
Yes.
We must have some spooks.
I'm sure we do.
Sorry, some spooks that know. There's probably some dynamite new bug technology.
Heather Nauert said on Friday, she's the State Department spokeshole, we can't rule out new cases as medical professionals continue to evaluate members of the embassy community. It's a community. Why isn't this getting a lot of attention? And if we hate Russia we hate Russia so much, why don't we yell about it like we do everything else Russia?
I don't know. It must be some tit for tat.
Which stems from tooth for tooth or this for that.
Yes, but it's actually a variant of it came out of a parable, The Spider and the Fly, from 1556.
Oh.
And it also, the words were interchangeable, tip, tap, tit, and tat. And then it became popularized by a Cockney comedian who used to wear a tit for hat. And it just kind of became, but the meaning is what it is, which is what you just said. But the way it came about is pretty sketchy.
Phrase from the chain.
Just 33.
I was going somewhere, baby.
We need to do more phrase from the Shays stuff.
Just 33 minutes of no agenda every day can keep your amygdala from swelling.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
So when I rate the show for my family, I usually rate it on the smoothness of the show.
Yeah, we're pretty low in the barrel today.
Yes, very low in the barrel. I blame it on the weather.
Yeah, nice.
In fact, I'll go further. It's global warming.
It's ruining the show.
Ruining the show.
Don't deny the global warming, man. It's ruining the show.
We have to read a few of these letters. We're gonna have a long read for your congratulations. But Sir Craig Kuttner from Norwalk, Connecticut, Baronet, actually, $153.54. He's got a douchebag call out.
All right.
I wish you a happy birthday, 1 cent to grow on. Shows are excellent and much appreciated. Douchebag call out for Dan Spencer.
Douchebag.
Apparently warming up to the show, but not warming up to the wallet. Okay. Baron, which is his actual name, Baron. Latiquin, $150. Joel Blazik, $133.08. He's in Reno. And includes, I guess it somehow includes the $53 plus $80.08 for Boob Karma. Because it works.
Because it works, Joseph. Joseph. Sir Joel.
Because it works, man. George Kunath, $106.53. It's pronounced Kunith. Okay. Jessica LaRue in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, $106. Dame Beth, $106 double. These are all double birthday
53s.
wishes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Sir Patrick Coble and Dame Sarah Coble, $53 from each.
Thank you.
Jonathan Hess, $101.01 from Heidelberg, Deutschland.
JNK.
No jingles, no karma. John Robinet, $100. Michael Gardner, $100. Find my keyboard here so I can scroll down. Brent Dombrowski, $100. Please keep anonymous. Thank you very much. I didn't do that. Oh, actually, I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Brent Dombrowski.
Open system app.
Sorry, but it's
System
not about
map.
him. Dave Clevenger, Sterling, Virginia. Michael Supko in Belmont, New Jersey. Ashley Burton, 8888 from. The show is getting a C.
Ashley.
Brett Dombrowski gave 897. Dave Clevenger 9417, and he's in Sterling, Virginia. And Supko gave 9247. Ashley 8888.
And she says,
Irish
hold
King
on. Hold on. Ashley Burton is Sir Idrone for some reason. And he says, you had me at alt.sexuality.horses.
Referring to the last show.
Yeah, I got it now. Yeah.
Irish King is Goleta, in Goleta, California. This is her first donation. Give her a de-douching.
Yeah, definitely.
You've been de-douched.
She incorporated the 53 with something to get 86. Stephen Buttkay, 72. Stephen Reeves in Olympia, Washington, 6969. Sir Got Nate, our buddy in Sebastopol, 6969. Glenn, brother. This is embarrassing. I believe it's pronounced Quercianci. He did send a note in, and he sent it. I remember the note. He says the reason he's donating is because I can pronounce his name.
Okay.
Irony.
96 objects.
Somewhat.
Enclosed, find a check for $66.66, which covers my usual monthly donation of $33.33 plus an additional $33.33 for pronouncing my name correctly.
Boom.
Most people take one look at it and ask how to pronounce it. Not you.
A rare moment, but yeah.
A lot of planets.
Sandra Munoz in Hot Springs, Arkansas, 61. There's a I do have a note from her too. A lot of mail came in. She says, my 31-year-old son Alex encouraged me to listen to No Agenda, and I got hooked. When he noticed my addiction to the show, he threatened to call me out as a douchebag if I didn't donate. Tough love. The show is a beacon of clarity in the muddy waters known as mainstream media. I love it. Unfortunately, I've picked up a bad habit from you two. I've begun randomly calling people douchebags. They deserve it, of course, but I suppose it's a small price to pay for the high quality of the media deconstruction. Thank you for both of you for weeding out, no pun intended, the true fake news.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank your son, too.
Yes. Good work for the whole family. Jimmy Brown, 5915. He's got a birthday. Is he on the list?
He's on the list.
Pete Tangney in Randolph, Massachusetts, 5678. Baron Mark Tanner, a buddy in Whittier, 5678 also. Mike Nikolaichuk in Saskatoon.
Sir Roll SK.
Sir Roll SK. He lost his job 4 months ago.
Jobs karma coming.
Yep. Thomas Miller, 5555. Steven Schnabel, 5510. Double nickels on the dime. Again, it's been too long, he says. James Batsold in Davenport, Iowa. Needs a de-douching. He's been listening since episode 630 and hasn't been able to donate. Can you give him one? You usually do that.
I'm sorry. What did you ask me to do? I'm sorry.
De-douching.
De-douching, yeah.
You've been de-douched.
Sir Tom Derry in DeForest, Wisconsin. Chris Engler, Sir Chris in Lancaster, Ontario, 5353. And then he says, happy birthday, Uncle Adam.
There you go. Who knew?
Brian Morris in Liberty, Maine.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Brian and Susie up there.
Yeah. Adam Muir, 5341. Cost him a swazzle enough something.
Well, he's from Australia, so 53.40.
Oh, he had to do $69 to get 53.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah. No, not for him. Not for him. It's not.
It's funny. It's funny to us.
Yeah.
5339. Howard LaHaroe in Worcester, Massachusetts, 5333. Sir Chansey in the Netherworlds. MB Khan in Chicago, 5333. And now we go to the list, the long list of people who donated $53 straight up, which is the specific donation for Adam's birthday, all wishing them a happy birthday. I will read name and location. Paul Davies in Brisbane, Queensland. Andy Wyatt, parts unknown. Micah Miller in Bethel, Pennsylvania. Mercia, I think is how to pronounce that. Pertuck. G. McDonald, Beth Bradshaw, Christopher Tropp in Sturgis, Michigan. Lloyd Simmons, David Wynn in Rockville Center, New York. Matthew Durney,
Open system map.
Parts unknown.
System cartography.
Ashley Blanco.
Matthew Yoder.
We got this big, huge. She sent a long note. Please read. Samalatha Ababate.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. She has Dame Ashley, Lady of the Lake. She just wanted to say that she does approve of the title her husband, Chris Bianco, selected for her.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Right. I remember that. Josh Cox, Demetrius Damdimopoulos in Hanover, Deutschland. Oh, Hanover. Nice town. Charles LePage, capital L, small a. Alan Fleetwood, Jonathan Ferris in Liberal, Kansas. I wonder how they vote there. Robert Gusek, Christopher Gray in Covington, Louisiana. Kevin McLaughlin in Locust, North Carolina. Keith Brown. Cody Holbert in Copperopolis, California. Copperopolis is my favorite town name in California. Gordon Walton in Austin. Matthew Wittering in Greenwich, London. Greenwich, where they have the time. They keep a clock. Lance Forrest in Newport, North Carolina. Anthony Fields in West Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Great, folks. We're just on our way to get more, some shield engineering done, and we'll
Jason Aubrey in Texarkana.
Stuff.
Elizabeth Johnson in Poughkeepsie. Scott Rendon, parts unknown. Mark Hudson. Joseph Hatch. William Machinsky in Evanston, Wyoming. John Aiken. David Villieu in Concord, California. David Wilson in Springshire, Queensland, Australia. Scott Floyd in Clayton, California. Should have been at the meetup. Christian Jacobson.
From Taiwan.
He's in Taiwan.
And he's anonymous.
Oh, well. You guys have to, I blame Eric for that.
Yeah.
Send it shill@noagendanation.com. Leslie Horvath. Sean Davis. Chris Rusdilski. Torben Peterson in Sarpsborg, Norway. Or 3 Norway listeners. Dan During in Forrestal, Missouri.
My middle content.
Chris
Next
Perry,
system en route.
Somewhere. He's the Sir Selverin Knight in Exile.
Next system en route.
Lucas Lundy.
Selecting next destination.
Seattle has a plastic straw ban he's bitching about. Yeah, welcome to Berkeley. Josh Oman in Petaluma, California. Michael Dennis in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Brian Sikorsky. It would be Sikorsky, perhaps. Larry Hay.
He's in the train museum, Brian.
Talk about us, please. Oh, yeah. He's the one who's bitching about millennials.
Please talk about us.
He's one of the... There are half millennials, and he's one of the guys who came up and he says, well, you talk about millennials a lot, but we're not those... He's the one who said, we're not those millennials.
No.
We're good millennials. Larry Hay. Conroy Jet. Cannot think of anyone else doing this type of necessary critical analysis of the news. He's right. Colin Cunningham, Jacob Honan, Daniel Havner in Noblesville, Indiana, Joe Reynoso, Sergio, so whack. Sean McDonough, Ron Gardner in San Diego, Craig Wax, Clark Truden, Paul Webb in Twickenham, Middlesex, Great Britain, Matthew Perlini, Nicholas Hanna, Jonathan Jobin, Heiko Santama is right, Santama in Holland. Michael DeCock, or DeCock.
Sir Mike DeCock.
Mike DeCock. Michael Aspenbag. Really? Aspenbag? Aspenhag.
He's from Sweden.
Ah, okay, makes sense. David Arlenz, Colton Robinson in Fresno. Mike, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Richard Swim.
I'm
Jennifer
loved.
Vita, until next week. Jennifer Wida in Lawton, Oklahoma. Could be Wida, but I think it's Wida. Dan Victor in Sugar Hill. Austin Wilson in Sammamish. Eric Holkel in Berlin, Deutschland. Hi, Eric. This is Jeffrey Schwab. Actually, Berlin is the end of it. We ended there with Jeffrey, or with Eric, actually, at 52. It should be 53. We went on to Jeffrey Schwab, 53. 73 is NW7J. Is that right?
Yeah, it could be. 73s. Kilo 5 Alpha Charlie Charlie.
And now we have $50 donors, name and location. There won't be as many, believe me. Brian Klimchek. Happy birthday, Adam. Mark Hackett in Downingstown, Pennsylvania. Jamie Graham. Jason David Lewis in Macon, Georgia, and he actually said a note. In fact, I have to read. Let me read this note. This is because it has a bunch of douchebag call-outs. Actually, let's get to the end of the 50s, and then we'll do it.
All right.
He's a lawyer, and he's in a law firm, and the law firm pretty much listens to this show all the time.
Well, obviously, this is where you get your constitutional news.
Sir Brett Farrell in Oklahoma City. And last but not least, Jared Seuss in Chicago.
And let me thank everybody profusely, as this is somewhat overwhelming. If you take last week's show,
you deserve it, my friend.
Oh, thank you, John.
Despite your racism.
Oh man, are you in cahoots with Incognito now?
I am now. Yes. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Dear John, I've been listening for years. This is Jason Lewis. John,
just stop for a second. You know that's going to be pulled out somewhere, and it's just going to be forever. It's going to be in my wiki page. I'm a racist. His own partner said so.
Yes.
Thanks, John.
Jason David Lewis. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it will be.
Just turn the knife, man.
Yeah, I've listened for years. Probably started around episode 25. I've been donating a few times in the past. Your show is simply the media highlight of my week, no matter the season. And yes, even Super Bowl week. I so enjoy listening to your anecdotes. You are responsible for my purchase of a Chevy Volt in 2012. Hear that, General Motors? 1 volt. I knew I could sell one. He also is like this Johnny Walker Gold, the good old kind, not the new crap, and a pack of rather disappointing pens. Well, I'll talk about pens again later.
The thing with the Volt is when you sold a Volt for them, they actually lost $7,000. I don't think they're very happy with you.
Yeah, probably not. I like the new Volt, by the way, and just its appearance. I think it's a good-looking car.
Oh, well, I'll take a look.
Anyway, I'm an attorney in an old-fashioned Macon, Georgia home of piles of dead bugs at gas stations. He remembers that story of mine. I've hit countless people in the mouth. A few of my law partners are also devoted listeners. Norman C. Pearson III is a donor. But Wesley Childs Esquire is a douchebag. Here we go. Douchebag callouts. Here we go. Douchebag callouts. Joseph D. I think it's Steffens.
Douchebag.
J. Travis Hell.
Oops, sorry.
J. Travis Hell, which I
douchebag.
And Lauren McDonald Childs.
Douchebag.
They're all douchebags and must be called out. This letter is more for me to let you and Adam know how great your work is, but please call out these douchebags.
Oh man. Oh, that's horrible.
I would rather be broke than be a douchebag.
I'm telling you.
There you have it.
It's not a good thing.
God.
Okay, again, thank you.
You made your point.
Yeah, thank you all very much for...
Jason's a maniac.
Yeah, okay. And I know people save up. They save up for these occasions to donate to the show, and I appreciate that. And that's cool. I really do like that. Because when you're 53, it's like, what do you want? You don't want anything. You just want some love, a little bit of recognition. And you certainly showed it today. So thank you very much. And remember, this would be a good opportunity to think about an executive producership for the next show. Remember us at
Dvorak.org/NA. Dvorak.org/NA.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
And we start off today with a brand new human resource. We welcome to the No Agenda family. Luke Wisdom says, welcome, Theodore Joshua. Seems to be a popular name these days. On the birthday list, we've got John Studebaker saying happy birthday to Robert Verdeber. Brent Dombrowski celebrates today on my birthday. I celebrate on his. Iris King, 33 on September 7th. Jimmy Brown will be celebrating on the 15th. And Nathaniel Mosman says happy birthday to his girlfriend, Dawn Wendling. She, too, is celebrating today on September 3rd. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. That's right. A couple of title changes on today's list. Sir Craig Kuttner becomes Baron of Northeast Georgia, and Sir Don becomes Baron of New Hampshire and Merrimack Valley, and we congratulate both of them, and thank you so much. It will be reflected at Dvorak.org/peerage or ITM.IM/peerage as you have completed another round of a nice contribution to the No Agenda show. Thank you very much. And then we have, let me see, we have 3 nightings today, John. So I am, yes, you're very excited about that, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's your blade?
Coming. There it is.
Yeah. Come on, notorious racist. Come on. To the floor, please. Andy Kirby, Brent Dombrowski, and Brian Beers. Gentlemen, step right up here at the podium next to the lectern. All three of you have contributed to the No Agenda show in the amount of $1,000 or more. And for that, you take a spot here at the No Agenda Roundtable of the Knights and the Dames. And it is well-deserved, gentlemen. Well-deserved. So I hereby proudly pronounceate thee, Sir Andrew Kirby, chaplain of the No Agenda Nation, Sir Brent, the trusted integer, and Sir Brian. Gentlemen, for you, we have hookers and blow, red boys and Chardonnay. We got pipelines and poppies, runny eggs and grapefruit juice. We got Nicaraguan cigars rolled in Panama papers. We got 3 geishas and a bucket of fried chicken, breast milk and pablum, ginger ale and gerbils, and mutton and mead. Just head on over to noagendanation.com/rings, and Eric the Shill will take care of you. No love, money back.
There you go.
Yes. That was nice. That was nice, man. That was nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was, I think, a record breaker.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm following the algos. It's kind of my job. My job.
We need a jingle.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Following the algos. Following the algos.
Following the algos?
Yeah, following the algos.
I don't know.
I can't think of something you could do it with.
Well, so first I just want to give you a little example of how these things are dumb. There's no AI or machine learning. As the Amazon Echo, I will not say her name, is so dumb. I'll give you an example of how dumb. Here's how we go. The Amazon Echo algo is so dumb.
How dumb is it?
That if I say, Alexa, add bread to the shopping list, and then Tina says, Alexa, add bread to the shopping list, she doesn't recognize the double entry.
So it just says bread on there twice?
Yes.
Bread.
Bread.
So what?
I'm just saying, this is not all this. If this is the state of AI today, I'm not too worried.
Well, does it differentiate Tina's request for bread from your request for bread? Because it's possible.
No, it does not.
Just possible. It doesn't?
No.
Oh.
It does not.
I was thinking it was possible that you both have your own preferences for a specific type of bread, and thus Alexa's doing what Alexa's told to do.
No, she does not know what she's doing.
Okay.
Now, this will become important, these algos.
I wouldn't know.
There's some legislation in the EU, which you and I have not looked at. I know it's more my beat, so I'm diving into it. This is the GDPR. This is the General Data Protection Regulation for the European Union. And we know that there's been all kinds of lawsuits and all kinds of stuff with passenger records, but also companies like Google and Amazon and Apple and others holding data in European data centers. There's all kinds of stuff that you have to adhere to. And unlike the United States, where we just let the intelligence services do whatever they want, and thus also Google and Amazon and everybody else.
Yeah, they know best.
Yeah. But they also, they hold their feet to the fire. We know the EU fines these companies all the time, and for billions of dollars. So here is an interesting piece from the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. Article 22, automated individual decision-making, including profiling. This is about algos. The data subject shall have the right not to be subjected to a decision based solely on automated processing, including profiling, which produces legal effects concerning him or her and similarly significantly affects him or her. So you have the right.
Can you summarize what you just said?
In the European Union, you have the right to opt out of an algorithm making a decision for you.
Okay.
That pretty much means every single social network. It means all the shopping algorithms, all of the decision making. You need to have the right to opt out of it. Paragraph 1 shall not apply, however, if it is necessary for entering info or performance of a contract between the data subject and a data controller. I have no idea what that means. Or, and this is a good one, if it is authorized by the union or a member state law to which the controller is subject and which also lays down suitable measures to safeguard the data subject's rights and freedoms and legitimate interests. or is based on the data subject's explicit consent. So the first thing we'll see, if it hasn't happened already, is the terms of service will probably change. They will have to. But with that, they will have to make it very clear that they are doing all kinds of stuff, making decisions for you. But this goes much further than just the social networks. It goes to job applications, which a lot of those are also done algorithmically. And I think if they start enforcing this, this will be a big deal, particularly for American companies.
Well, I believe it's probably done for the sole purpose of screwing over American companies.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
Because now it sounds as though you can't do anything.
No,
unless the union okays it. What is that about?
They actually say, they don't even say the union, just say union or state member. I guess it's the same. The union member, state member. I guess kind of the same thing. Well, no, it isn't, because otherwise they wouldn't put two different words in there. It's something we don't understand. But I look forward to this. I look forward to people finally understanding what algorithms are and what they're doing to your life, what they're doing to your Facebag feed, what they're doing to everything.
Yes, they're out there and they suck. They're not even very good.
That's the problem. Some of them could be dangerous.
I mean, this is one of those things that's, I think I bitch about this in the newsletter more than I do on the show, which is the bad, the way the marketing goes.
What do you mean?
Well, where you go to your website and it's been tracking you like a dog for a while and seeing what you want, what kind of ad you want served, and then it serves you an ad for something you just bought.
Yes, my favorite.
And it does that all the time.
Apparently it works. Apparently people then somehow there's benefit to it. I don't understand. It wasn't the promise.
The promise we should talk about for a second. The promise is that you track like a dog. So they see what websites you went to. Everyone's all these cookies. They get to here and there, and people look at each other's cookies and say, "Oh, he really likes to be at that fly fishing site. He's obviously a fly fisher." And they see you maybe look something up, once for just some. Maybe you want to know what it was. You need a definition, but no, they think you want to buy it. So if you look something up because you want the definition, or you want to see who maybe makes the best one, or a friend of yours asked about something and you don't know what he's talking about, so you look it up, and so all of a sudden the algo thinks you want to buy it, and when you don't want to buy it, because you just want to know about it.
Yeah.
So they start pummeling you with ads and ads and ads. I don't want to be tracked like a dog. I turned off all those things. Microsoft comes up with a message every once in a while now saying you should check your privacy settings. Turn them all off. It comes up. It's great. You click yes on that, and it comes up on the screen, and there's a whole bunch of settings. Turn them all off. It's fantastic.
Yeah, but
it makes a huge difference.
Interestingly, it doesn't stop the annoying ads in Skype, which I pay for.
I don't know why, but I'm not getting annoying ads in Skype. And I'm not paying for it.
Maybe you don't start it up all the time. Maybe that's it.
Oh, no, I keep it. It's kind of like...
Yeah, if you keep it open, you may not get in the cycle.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
But anyway, these ads are useless. And it kind of violates, and the whole idea of targeted advertising, which I talked about in a recent newsletter, the whole idea of targeted advertising is the way it was done in the magazines. They can't seem to do it right anymore. Bill Ziff had the best handle on it. He would always say, well, you create a world, and then when you're in that magazine, all you get is ads for what the world is.
For that world.
Modern Bride, it'd be every ad is about
guns and ammo.
All the just ads about guns and ammo. No ads for cars. No ads for Tide.
Yeah.
No ads for any of that other stuff. And as soon as I know this happened to PC Magazine, when it was still being published. As soon as Ziff died, boom! There's a Ford ad. Like,
of course. Hey, the old man's finally gone.
Yeah, we're gonna run for it because you're getting a commission for some guy. Nobody cares about the theory when it's like, I get a commission from Ford, I'm gonna make a bunch of money. That was that. But I've seen this before. These ideas are hopeless. I'm done. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah. There's an increasing amount of certainly millennials who have beliefs that someone is listening to their conversations as products.
As if anyone cared.
I think they are. You know, there's knowledge. People are getting woke. People are getting woke to this stuff. Yeah, it just takes a long time. Look, I don't want to call them millennials. Just kids these days.
These kids,
they're getting bored, you know, like, we got to research some stuff. We're bored. And they're finding things. There's a tipping point happening as well, which is signified by multiple things regarding Antifa and them being violent. You know, forget the news stories about how FBI labeled them a terrorist group years ago, and they've been on the list. That, you know, that's not going to get any play. But seeping into the mainstream narrative, including political leaders, is, you know, it's kind of, everyone's kind of, both sides are kind of violent.
Any of the people.
This is Pelosi.
Who come with an attitude, and I'm not talking about Trump supporters. I respect Trump supporters. I don't like characterizations of them that are being made. But I do not support those who attract white nationalists, white supremacists, those who do Heil Hitler, and that is what the danger of it is. People have a right to express themselves, and other people have a right to respond to it. There should never be any violence involved in that.
And then later in the statement, Pelosi said, she specifically said Antifa.
I didn't hear it.
No, not in here. Later, she made a statement. She wrote a written statement. But the real tipping point was this, to me, interesting exchange between Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. As in, Whoopi has the First Amendment down pat, and it's funny to watch this clip because she's wearing a black pussy hat. My brain just was trying to process everything. But Behar, I mean, she makes claim about, you know, she's such a great First Amendment, but, you know, when it comes to hate speech, oh, well, that's a different story. Yeah. You gonna say something?
No, I just bumped the mic. Sorry.
Okay. I can't say this strongly enough. You can protest any speaker you want to. The minute you get violent, you say you're protesting because you want to protect people and stuff, and then you go and burn people's stuff. What the hell, man? What the hell? It does. Whoever it is, it all happened in Berkeley, and you should not. You can protest and say we don't want this speaker. Don't go hear him, because the problem with you saying stop this person can't come is the person you want to come then will be stopped by somebody else.
And wasn't it Martin Luther King that always talked about when you get violent, you betray the message of what you're trying to say, and you lose your power.
You lose your power.
Protesters, and they were outside agitators. So the protesters did not do this.
But we don't know. We don't know where the line is. That's the problem. That's what you've heard. You get everyone gets lumped together, and it becomes the narrative becomes all the protesters did this. And so what I'm saying is, listen, outside agitators, you're not helping. Yeah. You're not helping because you are burning people's businesses. You are setting people back. What the hell, man? Yeah. Protest all you want to. Stop.
But let's talk about whether he has a right to protest, to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. I just said everybody has the right to speak.
Well, I think he has a right to speak, but basically, when I was in college, they really vetted people who were going to speak. There were, maybe the people like JFK would come to the school. You know what I mean? It wasn't just some.
You know what I mean?
How old is she if she was in college when JFK came to speak? How old is she?
She's very old. She's in her 70s, I believe.
Pretty old.
Behar?
Maybe 80s.
No, stop.
Yes, I'm not joking.
Stop the show. Hold on.
No, we're gonna do a thing. I'm
That's your Oculus.
Yeah, we're gonna consult the book of
Reconfiguring visual parameters now.
Holy shit! She's 74. You're right.
So of course, what do you think? I was kidding? I take this show very seriously.
When I was in college, they really vetted people who were going to speak. There were, maybe people like JFK would come to the school. You know what I mean? It wasn't just some troll on the internet, which is what this guy.
In the 60s, they would look for these trolls from the internet. They'd let them come to campus.
Come to the school. You know what I mean? It wasn't just some troll.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You hear me, bro?
The internet, which is what this guy basically. basically is.
Is that, but that is not.
He was invited, though. Don't say his name, because I don't think he deserves any more press.
But he was invited by the Republicans, the young Republicans club.
I'm just saying, I mean, I'm the First Amendment person here.
I'm the first. I'm the number one. I got a big foam finger. I am the First Amendment woman here.
I mean, I'm the First Amendment person here. I really believe in it. But this...
I really believe in it. It's true. Hear me out. I believe in the First Amendment.
I'm just saying, I mean, I'm the First Amendment person here. I really believe in it. But this guy, why they invite this guy? He has been banned from Twitter. He made horrible comments against Leslie Jones from SNL. Yes. He said at least the new Ghostbusters has a hot black guy in it, meaning her. Now, here is hate speech. It's speech that threatens or insults groups based on race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, disability.
I'm going to look this up. I'm sure I can get to Wikipedia. It should be that hate speech is not allowed.
So he's a sexist. Yep. He's a racist.
Listen, that is not our thing.
Talking about Milo?
Yes, they're talking about Milo. He's not the best. She's saying he shouldn't speak there. He's not JFK. He's Milo. He's an internet troll.
Sexist. Yep. He's a racist.
Listen, that is not our thing to control. If they want to invite him, that's fine. You don't have to go see him.
Yeah.
You don't have to go see him, but you cannot. You can say we're going to protest.
I agree with that.
We can protest outside, but you don't have to go in, but you don't have the right to destroy
everyone's stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's a tipping point. You watch. Of course, they'll never relate that back to Trump because he never said the violence was on all sides. He said, "Go racists."
Well, it's even worse. Now the UN has come out against Trump.
Oh, no. No. Really?
Yes.
Top United Nations official said Wednesday that Donald Trump is inciting violence against journalists, warning freedom of the press is under attack from the President of the United States. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Zeid Ra'ad al-Hussein, was speaking in Geneva.
And to call these news organizations fake does tremendous damage. And to refer to individual journalists in this way, I have to ask the question, is this not an incitement for others to attack journalists?
Jeez.
And let's assume a journalist is harmed from one of these organizations. Does the president then not bear responsibility for this, for having fanned this?
UN High Commissioner Zeid also cited Trump's attacks on women, Mexicans, Muslims, and disabled and transgender people, warning Trump's comments will embolden his supporters to sharpen their assaults on those communities.
So the incitement is used specifically as that would be deemed not protected by the First Amendment.
You know, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I mean, in Mexico, they shoot journalists. In Turkey, they lock them up left and right. I think they do the similar things in Russia and other places. There's a lot of activity, things you can bitch about what goes on with the media. And just to call out Trump for pointing the finger at certain people as fake journalists or fake operations, it's just bullcrap.
Well, it's a little more egregious than that to me. If we listen to the beginning of that report again.
Top United Nations official said Wednesday that Donald Trump is inciting violence against journalists, warning freedom of the press is under attack from the President of the United States.
Okay, let's just review that statement for a moment. Forget her also using the incite word, which is meant specifically to say, this is not free speech. You can't say that to the press because it's like yelling fire in a crowded movie theater. That's the concept of that. But if we just review the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law. I mean, so this is not about what you have. You have the right to free speech. This only says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The freedom of the press is not the freedom for them to do anything they want. They can write whatever they want, but they don't get to go everywhere. They don't get to be in every meeting. They don't have to have, they don't have to be televised. You can print, you can write whatever you want, just like you can say whatever you want. That's the intent, as far as I understand it. And they're really stretching into this.
Yeah, yeah, they're totally stretching. They're just all Trump attack.
Well, you brought
it to the table. And then they add all that little crap at the end, you know, the old, you know, this is the old bromides they're just going to stick with no matter what. He's a misogynist, he's a hater, he's a racist, he hates transgenders. That is a mysterious one, but that's been created because of his...
The trans ban. The trans ban.
Trans ban, and so that's stuck. So he's a transgender hater, and it's just, you know, that's just the way it goes.
And that was what, that was NewsHour or Democracy Now?
Yeah, Democracy Now.
Yeah, that's not okay. I mean, the things she's saying now is I mean, she's just all in. Those intros. Who's writing the intros for her?
It took a while. Staff.
I mean, convicted racist. What was it? Notorious racist. Notorious racist. Okay, we have the algo jingle in. We might as well just listen to it. Our producers are so good, man. I don't see it. Anyway, sorry. Thought it came in. All right. What else you got, John?
Okay, we got the interesting... I got a little side thing. There's a show that's syndicated called the Henry Ford's Innovation Museum Show or something like that. And there's this guy, I've always wondered about this guy, named Mo Rocca. Mo Rocca, some sort of a technology guy.
Mo Rocca.
He's the guy who does both the VO and he's also stand-up. And the stuff that's written for him is okay, but when he actually goes to ad-lib, he doesn't know anything. I don't think he knows what technology is. So play this feature, this little bit here, which is about one of the inventors, the inventor of the heterodyne circuit, the guy who invented FM radio, and his famous character that they're discussing, and a portable radio that he made back in the 30s. Is there on display.
Radio wave meant more clarity for the listener, and it could reach longer distances, and by extension, more people.
So this radio was actually created by Armstrong for his wife, Marion, and they took it with them on their honeymoon. So there are these great images of them sitting on a beach listening to this portable radio. It had a compartment for a battery, and you could take the horn off, and you can close it up. It looks like a suitcase, and it's even got a handle.
Edwin Armstrong died an early death in 1954 after years of stressful patent battles. But that was not the end of his story. His wife Marion was his champion, and she continued to fight her husband's court battles and made sure his name was etched in radio history.
Ultimately, Marion is the person who decided to preserve Armstrong's legacy. She actually donated this radio to the Henry Ford Museum after his passing.
And what is this?
This is just a horn. It helps to amplify the sound.
Did you steal it from a ship?
It looks like you could, yeah.
And I bet when he gave it to his wife, he had flowers stuffed in here.
I hope so.
That would have been nice.
That would have been great.
You watch this crap?
I've always been interested in Armstrong, and they were doing stuff on him. And then at the end, this guy looks at the horn, which is hooked to a driver.
Yeah.
Like any other horn to this day. You know, James Lansing Company still makes them. And the guy is befuddled by this horn, because the horn is coming out of the device and up and then straight, then out. And it's you know, it probably handles all the mid-ranges pretty well. And this guy is like completely befuddled by this horn, as though it's like some crazy thing. And then he goes gay, and he goes, oh.
He went very gay on us, yeah.
He went totally gay. He says, maybe put some flowers in it. And I'm watching this guy, and I'm going, this guy doesn't know anything. How would you not? Why would you be stunned by a horn from the 1930s radio? The thing is pretty big, by the way, for a portable radio. But anyway, I just thought I'd get that off my chest.
No, that's well, we appreciate that.
The clip is entitled "Mo Rocca is an idiot."
I'm actually going to give you a borderline for that. that was that good. All right, now let me see if this Algo's jingle. Let's set it up.
Algos, and more algo.
Nah,
We're all gonna die.
That's cute. We need some music.
No, that's not. I mean, that's nice. I appreciate it, Mike. But you know, Your kid.
Keep the cut out the we're all gonna die. That was pretty good.
Algos, and more algos. We're all gonna die.
That's pretty good. That'd be the ISO you want.
Oh my God, that is pretty good. Oh.
Well, here's another little international news item that you don't see everywhere.
Okay.
Apparently, Mallorca, the island, is filled with Nazis.
Okay.
With German, one guest used his mobile phone to film the scene. Members of the white supremacist Hammerskins waved a flag used by the German armed forces during World War II. Before, they're said to have shouted, "Foreigners go home," when a dark-skinned artist was singing. The audience reacted to this by chanting, "Nazis out." The Hammerskins have long returned to Germany. The state prosecutors on Mallorca are investigating the incident as a hate crime, but not as a racist act. Could right-wing extremists actually be welcome on the island? Some of them have even settled on Mallorca. The owner of this bistro, Holger Apfer, is a former NPD leader. After internal disputes, he quit the right-wing party 3.5 years ago and moved to Spain. He plays down the incidents.
The audience on Mallorca reflects society as a whole. I think things are heftier at village fairs and football matches and so on than they are on Mallorca.
The locals would prefer to be spared such right-wing extremists. Natalia Dokolomansky lives in a tourist area. She says if the new Nazis had their way, Mallorca would be a German protectorate. Everywhere she goes, she sees stickers that she regards to be threatening. And also some very dubious characters.
They raise their hand to give a Nazi salute and sing. They have tattoos that we don't understand, but they look very aggressive.
So who are these? Are these Taylor Swift fans? Who are these guys?
The Nazis?
Yeah.
They're a bunch of Germans that like to, in Germany, you can't display Nazi symbols. You can't.
No, you go to jail. No, you can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't go Heil Hitler. You can't do anything that these guys want to do. So they go to Mallorca. They just hang out there and they take their shirts off. They have some good pictures of some ridiculous tattoos, but it's all like, Nazi swastikas. And so this is a new hotspot.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's effed up. That's no good.
And now the other story that's not getting any play besides that one is this one, which is was on Democracy Now! I thought this was a good story that you'd think the networks would pick up on, even though, of course, the way they present it is a little extreme. But this is the ACLU story on ICE.
The American Civil Liberties Union is warning that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, is seeking permission to destroy 11 types of records, including information on sexual assaults by ICE officers, solitary confinement of prisoners, and even the deaths of people in ICE custody. Immigrant rights activists say the request by ICE to the National Archives and Record Administration is aimed at covering up the agency's track record of human rights abuses.
Holy crap. That doesn't seem like something should be possible. Why you can't delete stuff from the archives?
Well, that's what they're trying to get permission to do, apparently, and nobody cares.
Jeez.
Except the ACLU and Democracy Now! And us.
Oh, man. See, now we said something positive about them. Oh, no. That's good. But I like that. But I like it when ACLU... I used to support ACLU. But I like it when the lawyers go after this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's all the other bull crap that they're spending the money on that I don't agree with. I just have one thing. I've had it for a long time, probably 7 years. I think I was at an art exhibit in Los Angeles. And some woman who was, I don't know, someone said, oh, yeah, you should meet so-and-so. Anyway, she came in, she had a dog. And then she said right to me, and she said, oh, I really, it was a service dog. It had a little saddle on it, what do you call it? But it's saddle cloth. It says service animal, service dog. That's a service animal. And I said, well, what do you need it for? No, just I want to take my dog everywhere. And, if you just say it's a service animal, you can do that. You get free reign. You can take your dog anywhere, restaurants, movie theater, wherever you want. and is being abused. But the whole concept of the service animal, and I understand that animals can be very helpful for therapy, but I mean, I don't know if you saw this. It's just a loud yelling clip. But in Berkeley, one of the protesters was arrested, and you know, she just keeps yelling about. Well, you'll hear it here. Listen.
I need my service.
All the way to the gate.
I need my service animal.
Get back.
I need my fucking service animal. I need my fucking service animal.
Well, a little background on this clip. I had this clip, and I was going to play it until I saw a different report. And apparently this woman came in with her service animal, and they said no dogs allowed, and grabbed the animal, and I think they killed it.
Who killed it? The cops?
Yeah, well, cops kill dogs all the time.
Yeah.
So I never played the clip because I was uncertain that actually happened. I do know she was separated from her dog, and I'm pretty sure it happened because she brought the dog to the thing, and they didn't say no dogs. They didn't want dogs in the crowd.
Right.
And then they showed a clip of these cops holding the dog down like they're going to shoot him.
Oh God.
On KTVU.
That's not okay.
No, and I'm thinking no wonder the woman's bent out of shape. So I never ran that clip.
Well, to me, it was more
felt bad about the whole thing.
Well, the way she was yelling about it, to me, and this does give a different take on it, the way I experienced that, seeing it, was that she was separated from her service animal. But I think there's a lot of people who really can't live without their service animal. Then this is not something that's been around forever. This is a pretty recent phenomenon.
Yeah, I first noticed it probably within the earshot of the show itself. I don't remember. Maybe I had noticed it over 10 years ago. But yes, and they have little it's a horse blanket with a little service dog thing on the side of it. The dog's, going, okay, whatever, I'll do it. And it is fairly new, though, I think. I don't remember it as a kid, that's for sure.
From the chat room, apparently the video shows the cops petting and keeping the dog calm while her owner is freaking out and trying to trigger the dog to attack. I don't know about that. I don't know if it's service dogs.
Seems unlikely.
Are service dogs trained to attack? We have a whole new dimension of issues. No, but seriously, I just find the whole, in general, our building is filled with, it's all young, beautiful people, no children, dogs. And the dogs
are there dogs in that place?
The dogs are these people's children.
Do they start howling at night, or is there any?
No, we don't hear anything.
When a siren goes by, the dogs off?
No, I don't hear a single thing. But you share the elevator with the dogs, and the front of the building, any tree, any bench, any garbage can is a toilet. And it's people. It really bothers me. It's it's just they walk 5 feet. Go ahead. There's a restaurant next door every day. They're out there scrubbing the sidewalk. But the trend I'm seeing is young couples not having children. It's all transference to the dog. And I'll tell you, if you treat a child like a dog, man, you're never gonna want children. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. No, but this is a troubling development, and this goes
okay,
all
we're
the way through the
finally
service dog.
here.
The attachment is becoming. It's very
and
it's noticeable.
Yeah, the mission built traitors.
It's bothering you.
I mean, not traitors,
yes,
but bad guys.
I don't think it's good for the development of our country, of our young people. I'm pretty sure this is happening worldwide. I'd like to know.
Asian market,
and this attachment to the animal, not being able to live without the animal. I think that goes beyond therapy.
Yeah. It's a Muslim plot.
Ah, there it is. I don't think Muslims are big fans of the dogs.
They hate dogs.
As pets. Yes. Then we have the infidels love the evil dog.
They hate dogs.
And the Ottoman Empire will once again rule. I don't know why they hate dogs.
Must die.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for all the birthday wishes. And
I don't see any hostile
we will return,
zones, so
obviously, on Thursday with another episode of the No Agenda Show for you. And who knows what could happen in the meantime.
Something.
We'll be here, yes, to rip
Probably
it apart.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm guessing tomorrow. What day is Labor Day?
Yeah, something tomorrow. Something good tomorrow.
I think something will happen tomorrow on Labor Day.
Okay. All right. We'll pay attention. Something will happen. Coming to you from downtown Austin, Texas. Feet are dry, and we're here in the common law condo in the Cludio, 5x9, FEMA Region 6, in case you're looking for it on the map. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's too hot, and the freeway's now clogging up, but the trains were on time. I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Thursday right here on No Agenda. Until then, adios, mofos.
Play Hutton Orbital Radio. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ooh, wanted right away. Nice. Oh, that was so easy. He's gonna die. Go, you little bitch. Always trying to run. Nice. Federal assault ship? Don't mind if I do. I'm at a good challenge. Come on. Drive, good. Wimp, you gonna run away, are ya? Nice. Easy peasy. Be actually out of bad guys to kill. Easy peasy. Oh, you're lucky, buddy. You are lucky. Sidewinder friend, though. Way out there. Out of storage full, eh? Okay, we're gonna have to get rid. Okay, good. All these guys are like not bad guys. Well, that's fine. Go turn in some Denmark. Go turn these in. And we'll at least get ourselves on the board. Power to engines.
Max engines.
Retract hard points.
Stowing weapons.
And yeah, call it done for the day. Yep, Shajin. Checking out the data points along the way. Center Oculus.
Centering heads-up display.
Oh, sure.
Identifying threat. Commander, what are your orders?
Power to weapons.
Max weapons.
You're gonna regret this, Oswin. Heatsink.
Heatsink deploy. Warning. Now.
Take my kill. Tracked hard points.
Retracting armaments.
Nice. And let's go back to what we were up to. Nice little good way to finish the combat. Take a Python, didn't even use a shield cell bank. Fast, too fast. There we go. Perfect. Turn in our bounties. See where it gets us on the community gold board.
Peterson, Romeo Oscar Lima. This station is under Imperial sovereignty. Kindly observe traffic regulations when approaching this facility. Access permitted. Please make your way to landing pad 22.
Oh, I'm friendly. Deploy landing gear.
Deploying landing gear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's turn in our bounty. Where it gets us.
Landing complete. Please execute system shutdown. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau wishes you a pleasant and productive visit, Commander.
Nice. Top 75% in one hit. Well, this looks like it'll have a few more days to go, so at least we're on the board. We've modified the FDL. We've modified the heck out of this Lance. Thank you. Now considered an ally of the Empire. I was like higher up than that. Yeah, I'm a serf. So, yeah, with that, I'm gonna sign out, and thank you for watching. I'm RollSK from Bitter Old Goons Gaming, and if you like and subscribe, we'll be back with something new soon. Peace.